The 5-year-old girl stood barefoot in the snow, her tiny body shaking so hard, her teeth cracked against each other like breaking glass. 2 hours. Her mother had been gone 2 hours. "Mommy's coming back," Lily whispered to no one, her lips turning blue, her fingers bone white. She was invisible. Customers walked past her like she was a ghost. Nobody stopped. Nobody cared. Then the thunder came. Not from the sky, from the highway. 15 motorcycles crested the hill, chrome blazing leather-clad riders who looked like death itself. The leader saw her, and everything changed. If you want to see how 200 Hell's Angels gave one forgotten child the Christmas miracle, nobody believed possible, subscribe to our channel and stay until the very end. Drop a comment telling us which city you're watching from. We love seeing how far this story travels. The gas station clerk looked at the little girl for the 3rd time in 20 minutes and felt nothing but annoyance. "Hey, kid." Lily Monroe didn't turn around. She kept her face pressed against the window, watching the parking lot, watching for headlights, watching for a car that wasn't coming. "I said, hey." Derek pushed away from the register and walked toward her. 19 years old, working Christmas Eve, because nobody else wanted to, already calculating how many hours until his shift ended. "You can't just stand there. This ain't a daycare." Lily's voice came out small, barely a whisper. "My mommy said wait here." "Yeah, when'd she say that? She's coming back." Derek checked his phone. "It's been like 2 hours, kid. Nobody's coming back." Lily finally turned, and Derek saw her face clearly for the first time. Blue lips, skin so pale it was almost gray. Eyes that held something no 5-year-old should ever carry, the kind of fear that comes from already knowing the truth, but refusing to believe it. "She promised," Lily said. Derek felt something shift in his chest. Something uncomfortable. He pushed it down. "Look, I can't have you blocking the door. Either buy something or I have money." Lily reached into the pocket of her thin dress, a summer dress for God's sake in 15-degree weather, and pulled out a handful of coins. She counted them carefully, the way someone had obviously taught her. 37 cents. "That won't buy anything. Can I have water? Please, I'm really thirsty." Derek stared at her. 37 cents. A summer dress, broken sandals with no socks, standing in the snow on Christmas Eve. He should call someone. That's what a decent person would do. But it was Christmas Eve, and the cops were probably busy, and CPS wouldn't answer until after the holiday, and honestly, it wasn't his problem. Her mother would show up eventually. Mothers always showed up. "Just stay out of the way," he muttered, walking back to the register. Lily pressed her face against the window again and waited. Crystal Monroe had left her daughter at 4:47 p.m. with every intention of coming back. "5 minutes, baby girl. Mommy just needs 5 minutes, okay? You stay right here where it's warm and watch for my car. Can you do that for me?" Lily had nodded because Lily always nodded. Lily was a good girl. Everyone said so. "I'll be right back, I promise." Crystal had kissed her daughter's forehead, tasted the salt of dried tears from earlier that day, and walked out the door. Her hands were shaking. Not from the cold. The dealer was supposed to meet her at the motel 3 miles away. Quick exchange, in and out. Then she'd pick up Lily, and they'd go home. And maybe, just maybe, she could hold it together long enough to give her daughter something resembling a Christmas. That was 5 minutes ago. That was 2 hours ago. That was a lifetime ago. Crystal didn't know where she was now. Some room, some bed. The hit had been stronger than expected, or maybe she'd taken more than she meant to, or maybe it didn't matter anymore because everything was warm and soft and far away, and she couldn't remember what she was supposed to be doing, or why her heart kept whispering a name she couldn't quite hear. Lily. The name floated through her consciousness like smoke, like something she should chase but couldn't quite reach. Lily's waiting. Crystal's eyes fluttered closed. She'll be fine. Just a few more minutes. Just let me rest. The temperature dropped another 3 degrees at 6:15 p.m. Lily had stopped feeling her feet 20 minutes ago. That scared her at first, but now it was almost better. No feeling meant no pain. She was learning that lesson early in life. Numbness was a gift. She watched families pull into the gas station, parents filling up tanks while kids bounced in back seats excited about presents and cookies and everything that came with Christmas morning. She watched couples laughing together, holding hands, complaining about the cold, like it was something worth complaining about, instead of something that could kill you. Nobody looked at her. She was 5 years old, standing alone in broken sandals and a summer dress on Christmas Eve, and she might as well have been furniture. An older woman walked past close enough that Lily could smell her perfume. Lily opened her mouth to say something, to ask for help, to ask for anything, but the woman didn't even glance her way. A man in a business suit nearly tripped over her. He muttered something harsh and kept walking. A mother with 2 children hurried past, one kid on each hand, and for a moment the mother's eyes met Lily's. Just for a moment. Lily saw recognition there. The woman knew something was wrong. She knew. The woman looked away and pulled her children faster toward their SUV. Lily understood then. She understood it with the kind of clarity that no 5-year-old should possess. She wasn't invisible because people couldn't see her. She was invisible because people didn't want to. Inside the gas station, Derek scrolled through his phone and tried to ignore the knot in his stomach. The kid was still there, still pressed against that window like she was waiting for a miracle. It had been over 2 hours now, and the sun was almost gone, and the temperature was dropping fast. He should call someone. He picked up his phone, stared at the keypad, put it down again. Not my problem. He picked up his phone again. Her mom's probably stuck in traffic or something. Holiday traffic's insane. He put it down. She's 5 years old. He picked it up. The cops'll take forever to respond. CPS won't do anything until after Christmas. She'll just end up sitting in some cold office somewhere. And that's worse than sitting here, right? He put it down. Coward. That last voice sounded like his grandmother, dead 3 years now, the only person who'd ever expected anything from him. He pushed away from the register and walked toward the coffee station, keeping his back to the window. If he couldn't see her, he couldn't feel guilty about her. That was the theory, anyway. The motorcycles appeared at 6:32 p.m. Lily heard them before she saw them, a deep rolling thunder that seemed to shake the ground beneath her frozen feet. She turned toward the sound and watched them crest the hill on Route 89, a line of chrome and leather cutting through the twilight like something from another world. 15 bikes. 15 riders. Even at 5 years old, Lily knew what they were. She'd seen pictures on TV, heard adults talk in hushed, frightened tones. Hell's Angels. The kind of people her mother said to stay away from. The kind of people who did bad things to good people. Monsters. The lead bike was massive, ridden by a man who seemed carved from stone and shadow. Even from a distance, Lily could see the skull patches on his vest, the tattoos crawling up his neck, the silver beard that made him look like something out of a nightmare. They pulled into the gas station, engines growling, and Lily pressed herself back against the window, trying to make herself smaller. Maybe if she didn't move, they wouldn't see her. Maybe if she held her breath. The lead rider cut his engine. In the sudden silence, Lily heard her own heart pounding. The man dismounted. He was bigger standing up than he'd looked on the bike, easily 6'4", with shoulders like a mountain and hands that looked like they could crush stone. He started walking toward the convenience store, and Lily realized with sick horror that he was walking toward her. She tried to run. Her legs wouldn't move. The cold had stolen them from her. He stopped 3 feet away. Lily closed her eyes and waited for something terrible. "Hey there." His voice was wrong. Not wrong bad, wrong unexpected. Soft, gentle, like her kindergarten teacher's voice when someone fell on the playground. Lily opened her eyes. The monster was crouching down, bringing his nightmare face to her level. This close, she could see his eyes steel gray like winter clouds, but warm somehow. Concerned. "What's your name, sweetheart?" Lily's voice wouldn't work. She shook her head. "It's okay. I'm not gonna hurt you. I promise." He studied her face, and something flickered across his expression. Something that looked like pain. "Where's your folks? Mommy's coming back." The words came out automatically, the same words she'd been saying for 2 hours, worn smooth with repetition. "Yeah. When'd she leave?" Lily didn't answer. The man's eyes dropped to her feet, bare toes visible through broken sandals, skin white with the early stages of frostbite. His jaw tightened. "Hey, Raven, get over here." A woman approached from one of the other bikes. Red hair pulled back in a braid leather vest over a heavy jacket, face hard, but eyes sharp. She took one look at Lily and dropped to her knees. Jesus Christ. Stone, her lips are blue. The woman Raven reached out slowly, giving Lily time to pull away if she wanted. When Lily didn't move, Raven pressed 2 fingers against her neck, feeling for a pulse. "How long have you been out here, honey?" "Mommy said wait." "I know, baby, but how long can you remember?" Lily tried to think. Time had gone strange somewhere in the last hour. The sun was up. It was still light. Raven and Stone exchanged a look that Lily couldn't read. "She's going hypothermic," Raven said quietly. "Her pulse is thready. We need to move her now or we're gonna have a real problem." "What about her mother?" "Stone." Raven's voice was sharp. "Look at her. Does it matter?" Stone looked at Lily for a long moment. Then he stood up and turned toward the gas station. "Hey." His voice cracked across the parking lot like thunder. Derek's head snapped up inside the store. "Get out here, now." Derek hesitated, then slowly made his way outside. "Can I help you? How long's this kid been standing here? Don't lie to me." Stone's voice had dropped to something dangerous. "I can see the condensation marks on that window. She's been breathing on it for hours. How long?" Derek's face went pale. "Look, man, I just work here. It's not my... How long?" Maybe 2 hours. Her mom said she'd be right back, and I thought, you thought." Stone took a step forward, and Derek stumbled backward. "You thought it was fine to leave a 5-year-old in the cold for 2 hours on Christmas Eve? That what you thought? I was gonna call someone you just didn't want to deal with it." Stone's voice was quiet now, which was somehow worse than shouting. "Yeah, I know your type. Tell you what, you're gonna call 911 right now. Tell them there's a missing mother and an abandoned child. Then you're gonna tell them exactly how long you watched her freeze while you did nothing. You understand me?" Derek nodded frantically, scrambling back inside. Stone turned back to Lily. His expression changed instantly, the hardness melting into something gentle, something safe. "Okay, sweetheart. Here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna take you somewhere warm and get you something hot to drink, and then we're gonna find your mommy. But first, I need you to trust me. Can you do that?" Lily looked up at this giant of a man, this monster from the stories, this person everyone had warned her about. Then she looked past him, at the other riders' men and women in leather and denim death's heads, and iron crosses, chains, and tattoos. Everything she'd been taught told her to be afraid. Everything her mother had said told her to run. But her mother wasn't here. Her mother had left her in the cold to die, and these people, these monsters, were the only ones who'd stopped. "Are you a bad guy?" Lily whispered. Stone smiled. It transformed his entire face. "I'm trying real hard not to be, sweetheart. That's the best I can tell you." Lily considered this. It was more honest than anything any adult had said to her in a long time. "Okay." Stone shrugged off his leather jacket, the one with the Hell's Angels patches, the one that probably cost more than Lily's entire wardrobe, and wrapped it around her small body. It swallowed her whole, but it was warm. So warm. It smelled like motor oil and cigarettes, and something else, something that reminded her of the grandfather she barely remembered. "I'm gonna pick you up now, okay? Is that okay?" Lily nodded. Stone lifted her like she weighed nothing, cradling her against his chest, making sure the jacket was tucked around her completely. Behind him, the other riders had gathered, forming a loose circle that somehow felt protective rather than threatening. "We got a problem," Stone said to them. "Little girl abandoned hypothermic. Mother's in the wind. We're taking her to the clubhouse to warm her up." "Stone." A younger rider stepped forward. "Man, you know what that's gonna look like. Hell's Angels taking a kid, cops'll lose their minds." "You got a better idea, Gavin." Gavin looked at Lily's blue lips, her white fingers, her summer dress in 15-degree weather. "No," he admitted. "Guess I don't." "Then let's ride." Derek watched from inside the gas station as the motorcycles pulled out of the parking lot, the little girl cradled against the chest of the most terrifying-looking man he'd ever seen. He had the phone in his hand. He'd dialed 911 like the biker told him. 911, what's your emergency?" Derek opened his mouth, closed it. "Hello? Sir, what's your emergency?" He could tell them what happened. Tell them some bikers took a kid. That was technically true. But then he'd have to explain why he'd let a 5-year-old stand in the cold for 2 hours without doing anything. "Sorry," Derek said. "Wrong number." He hung up. Not my problem. He went back to scrolling through his phone. The Iron Mountain Clubhouse was 17 minutes from the gas station, but Stone made the ride in 12. Lily kept her eyes closed most of the way, her small fingers clutching Stone's shirt, her face pressed against his chest. The wind was brutal, but the jacket kept the worst of it away, and Stone's body heat was slowly working its way into her frozen limbs. She was starting to feel her feet again. It hurt. God, it hurt. "Almost there, sweetheart," Stone murmured, his voice barely audible over the engine. "You're doing great. You're so brave." Lily wasn't brave. She was scared. But there was something about being held, really held by someone who wasn't letting go, that made the fear feel smaller. The clubhouse appeared out of the darkness like a beacon. Christmas lights strung across the roof, warm light spilling from the windows, smoke rising from a chimney. Stone pulled to a stop and killed the engine. The other riders followed, forming a protective perimeter around him and Lily. "Raven, get inside, get blankets and something warm to drink. Gavin, I need you on the phone with every contact we've got. Someone knows where this kid's mother is. Let's find her." "What about the cops?" Gavin asked. "I'll handle the cops." "Stone, I said I'll handle it." The clubhouse doors opened and a woman emerged. 60 years old, gray hair pulled back in a neat bun. Face weathered, but kind. Mama Rosa, the club's heart and soul, Stone's adopted mother in every way that mattered. What's going on? Who's hurt? Nobody's hurt, yet. Stone climbed off the bike, Lily still in his arms. Found her at the gas station on Route 89. Abandoned. Frozen. Mother's gone. Mama Rosa's eyes went to Lily, and something cracked across her features. Something old. Something painful. Bring her inside. Right now. The warmth hit Lily like a wall. She gasped, her frozen lungs suddenly struggling to process air that wasn't trying to kill her. Her hands began to tingle, then burn, then throb with the agony of blood returning to damaged tissue. She whimpered, and Stone's arms tightened around her. I know it hurts, sweetheart. That means you're warming up. The hurt means you're gonna be okay. Mama Rosa had already sprung into action, directing other club members with the efficiency of a general. Blankets appeared. A small couch was pulled close to the fireplace. Someone produced a mug of warm, not hot, warm Stone, noted approvingly chicken broth. Stone set Lily down on the couch, keeping her wrapped in his jacket and adding 3 more blankets on top. Mama Rosa knelt in front of her, taking Lily's tiny hands in her own weathered ones. What's your name, little one? Lily. That's a beautiful name. I'm Rosa, but everyone calls me Mama. You can call me whatever you want. She began gently rubbing Lily's fingers, working warmth back into them. Can you tell me where your mommy went? She had to see her friend. She said 5 minutes. Do you know your mommy's phone number? Lily nodded. She recited the numbers carefully, the way Crystal had taught her one of the few responsible things Crystal had done in the last year. Stone was already dialing. It rang, and rang, and rang. Voicemail. Crystal Monroe, this is Stone from the Iron Mountain chapter. I have your daughter. She's safe, but she almost wasn't. You call me back, now. He hung up and met Mama Rosa's eyes. Nothing. Who abandons their kid on Christmas Eve? Someone who's too sick to know what they're doing. Stone's jaw tightened. I've seen it before. Seen the look in that little girl's eyes before, too. She knows things no 5-year-old should know. Mama Rosa's expression flickered. Pain. Memory. She reminds you of, don't. Silence. Stone moved to the couch and crouched down next to Lily. Hey, sweetheart. The broth's warm enough now. You think you can drink some for me? Lily took the mug in trembling hands. The first sip made her entire body shudder with relief. Good girl. Small sips. Don't rush. Why are you helping me? The question was so direct, so earnest, that Stone had to look away for a moment. Because you needed help. Other people didn't help. They walked past me. I know. Why, Stone thought about the dozen lies he could tell, the comforting platitudes, the easy answers. He chose the truth instead. Because some people are scared, and some people are selfish, and some people have just forgotten what it means to care about anyone but themselves. But that's not everyone, Lily. It's not most people, even. Sometimes you just have to wait for the right person to come along. Lily considered this. Are you the right person? Stone smiled. I'm trying to be. Raven appeared 20 minutes later with a full medical kit and a grim expression. Okay, sweetheart. I used to be a nurse. I'm gonna check you over and make sure everything's working right. Is that okay? Lily nodded. Raven worked quickly but gently checking Lily's temperature, examining her fingers and toes for frostbite damage, listening to her heart and lungs. With each touch, her expression grew more troubled. When's the last time you ate honey? School. Yesterday. Yesterday. Lily nodded. I saved half my sandwich because Mommy forgot groceries again. I had it for breakfast. Raven's eyes met Stone's across the room. Something passed between them. Rage, sorrow, the shared understanding of two people who'd seen too much of the world's darkness. "Okay, we're gonna get you some real food. What do you like? We've got chili, we've got soup, we've got anything." Lily's voice was small. "I'm not picky." Of course she wasn't. Kids who grew up hungry learned not to be picky real fast. Raven disappeared toward the kitchen. Stone stayed by Lily's side, watching her drink her broth, watching the color slowly return to her cheeks, watching her eyes dart around the clubhouse with a mixture of fear and fascination. "Is this where bad guys live?" Stone laughed, despite himself. "Some people think so." "It doesn't look bad. It looks warm." "It is warm. You're safe here, Lily. I promise." Lily looked at him for a long moment. Then so quietly he almost missed it. "That's what Mommy says, before she leaves." Stone's heart cracked down the middle. "I'm not your mommy, sweetheart. I'm gonna be here when I say I'll be here." "Okay." Lily didn't respond. She'd heard promises before. She'd learned not to trust them. Stone understood. He didn't push. The clubhouse phone rang at 7:15 p.m. Gavin answered, listened for 10 seconds, and his face went white. "Stone, you need to take this." Stone moved to the phone, keeping his voice low. "Yeah. This is Deputy Sarah Winters with the Coconino County Sheriff's Department. I'm calling about a missing child report filed at a gas station on Route 89. "Good. You got my message." "Your message?" A pause. "Sir, I don't have any messages. I have a report from a witness who says a group of Hell's Angels took a child from a gas station against her will." Stone went very still. "That's not what happened." "Then you won't mind explaining what did happen. Where is the child now? She's safe, she's warm, she's eating for the first time in 2 days." "Sir, I need the child's location." "I'm not going to—" "Sir, this is not a request. You have approximately 30 minutes before I show up at your clubhouse with every deputy I can find. If that child is not safe and healthy when I arrive, I will personally ensure that every member of your club spends Christmas in a cell. Do you understand me?" Stone looked at Lily curled up on the couch, a bowl of chili in her lap. The first real smile he'd seen on her face, spreading, as Mama Rosa told her a story about a Christmas long ago. "She's at the Iron Mountain Clubhouse," Stone said. "And Deputy, when you get here, I want you to look at this kid. Really look at her. Then you tell me who the real criminals are." He hung up. "Cops are coming," he announced to the room. 30 minutes. Everyone who's got warrants, make yourself scarce. Everyone else stay calm. We didn't do anything wrong." "They're not going to see it that way," Gavin said. "Then we're going to make them see it." Stone walked back to Lily's side and sat down next to her. "Lily, I need to tell you something. Some police officers are coming to make sure you're okay. They might want to ask you questions. They might want to take you somewhere else. But I need you to know something." Lily's eyes went wide with fear. "Are they going to take me away?" "They might try. I don't want to go. I want to stay here. Please." "I know, sweetheart. And I'm going to fight for you to stay safe. But here's what I need you to understand. Whatever happens tonight, you're not alone anymore. You've got me. You've got Mama Rosa. You've got every person in this building. We're not going to forget about you. Ever. Okay." Lily's lower lip trembled. "Promise." Stone held out his pinky finger. "I don't make promises I can't keep, Lily. But this one I'm making." Lily hooked her tiny pinky around his massive one. "Okay." The deputies arrived at 7:47 p.m. 3 vehicles, 5 officers. Deputy Sarah Winters at the front, her hand resting on her holstered weapon, her expression carved from ice. Stone met them in the parking lot. Alone. "Deputy." "Where's the child?" "Inside. Warm. Safe. Eating." "I need to see her. Now." "You will. But first I need you to understand something." Stone's voice was steady calm. "That little girl was standing in 15-degree weather for over 2 hours. Barefoot. In a summer dress. On Christmas Eve. Do you know how close she was to dying?" Sarah's jaw tightened. "I'm aware of the situation." "Are you? Because your people weren't the ones who found her. Your system wasn't the one that saved her. We did. The people everyone tells their kids to be afraid of. We stopped. We helped. Everyone else walked past. That doesn't give you the right to what? Feed her, warm her up, make sure she didn't lose her toes to frostbite." Stone took a step forward. "I've got a former ER nurse in there who said this kid was 20 minutes from permanent damage, maybe worse. So before you come in with your badges and your authority and your righteous indignation, maybe stop and ask yourself where you were while she was freezing." Sarah stared at him for a long moment. "Take me to her." Lily saw the uniforms and immediately tried to hide behind Mama Rosa. "No," she whimpered. "No, please, they're gonna take me away. Please." "Shh, baby, it's okay." Mama Rosa wrapped protective arms around her. "Nobody's taking you anywhere." Sarah stopped in the doorway. Whatever she'd expected to find, it wasn't this, a 5-year-old girl surrounded by Hell's Angels being comforted and protected like she was the most precious thing in the world. She approached slowly, crouching down to Lily's level, the way she'd been trained. "Hi, Lily. My name is Sarah. I'm a police officer. I'm here to make sure you're okay." Lily peered out from behind Mama Rosa. "They helped me," she said. "They're nice. They gave me food and the warm jacket and they didn't leave." Sarah's eyes flicked to Stone's jacket, still wrapped around Lily's shoulders. "That's good, sweetheart. Can you tell me what happened with your mommy?" Lily's face crumpled. "She said 5 minutes. She promised. Do you know where she went? To see her friend. She always goes to see her friend. Then she comes back different." Sarah understood immediately. She'd worked enough drug cases to recognize the language of a child growing up around addiction. Different how? Sleepy or mean, or she forgets things she promised. Lily's voice dropped to a whisper. "She forgets me sometimes, even when I'm right there." Sarah's heart broke. She looked around the clubhouse, at the bikers watching with protective intensity, at Mama Rosa holding Lily like she was her own granddaughter, at Stone standing with arms crossed, daring her to find fault with any of it. "Where's the nurse?" Sarah asked. Raven stepped forward. "What's your assessment?" She had mild hypothermia when they brought her in. Capillary refill was delayed in her extremities. She's malnourished, probably hasn't had a proper meal in days. No signs of physical abuse, but the neglect is severe and ongoing. This isn't a one-time thing. This kid's been surviving on her own for God knows how long. Sarah nodded slowly. "CPS won't respond until after the holiday." "I'm aware." "And the mother, missing. Phone's off. We've got people looking." Sarah studied Lily for a long moment. The little girl had stopped crying, but she was still clutching Mama Rosa, like a lifeline, her eyes darting between the deputies with barely concealed terror. "The system says I should take her in," Sarah said quietly. "Put her in emergency custody. Standard procedure." Stone tensed. But standard procedure would mean taking her out of the only place she feels safe on Christmas Eve to put her in a cold office with strangers who get paid to pretend to care. Sarah met Stone's eyes. "I've seen how that ends. I've seen what it does to kids. So what are you going to do?" Sarah was silent for a long moment. There's a kindergarten teacher, Elena Rodriguez. I know her, she's helped with cases before. What if the kid stays with her tonight, neutral ground? Not a biker clubhouse, but not the system either. Stone looked at Lily. That work for you, sweetheart? Lily's eyes filled with fresh tears. Can you still visit me? Stone smiled. Try and stop me. Elena Rodriguez arrived at 8:30 p.m., still wearing her Christmas Eve dress, her face a mix of concern and confusion. Deputy Winters, what's... She saw Lily and stopped. Oh my God, Lily, she knew her. Of course she knew her. She was Lily's kindergarten teacher. Miss Elena. Lily's face lit up. Miss Elena, look, the motorcycle people found me. They gave me chili. Elena crossed the room and gathered Lily in her arms. Sweetheart, I've been so worried about you. When you didn't come back after winter break started, I tried calling your mom and she stopped remembering there were other people in the room. What happened? Stone explained. Deputy Winters filled in the details she'd gathered. Elena's expression shifted from confusion to horror to something cold and determined. I'll take her, she said. She can stay with me as long as she needs. We'll need to make this official, Sarah said. Emergency temporary custody, paperwork, but that can wait until morning. Fine. Elena was already helping Lily into her coat. The new coat Mama Rosa had somehow produced from the clubhouse's collection of donations, warm and thick, and actually the right size. Whatever it takes. Stone crouched down in front of Lily one more time. You're gonna go with Miss Elena now, okay? She's gonna keep you safe until we figure out what happened to your mommy. Lily's lower lip trembled. What if Mommy never comes back? The question hung in the air, heavy and terrible. Stone didn't lie to her. Then we'll figure that out together. But whatever happens, Lily, you're not going to be alone. You've got Miss Elena. You've got Deputy Winters, who I'm starting to think might be one of the good ones. He glanced at Sarah, who almost smiled. And you've got us. The whole Iron Mountain chapter. We look out for our own. But I'm not one of you. Yeah, you are. You became one of us the second we saw you standing in that parking lot. Family isn't about blood, Lily. It's about who shows up. And we're showing up for you. Lily threw her arms around his neck. Stone hugged her back, this tiny, broken, brave little girl who'd somehow made an entire motorcycle club fall in love with her in the span of 3 hours. Thank you, Lily whispered, for stopping. Thank you for trusting me, Stone whispered back. That was the brave part. Elena's car pulled out of the parking lot at 9:15 p.m. Lily buckled safely in the back seat, already drifting toward sleep. Stone watched until the taillights disappeared, then turned to find Deputy Winters still standing beside him. You did good tonight, she said. Don't sound so surprised. I'm not. Well, maybe a little. She paused. I've been tracking Crystal Monroe for weeks. Drug charges, nothing that would stick, but enough to know she was spiraling. I should have pushed harder, should have gotten that kid out sooner. A lot of people should have done a lot of things. Yeah. Sarah looked at the clubhouse at the bikers gathered inside at the Christmas lights, still twinkling against the darkness. You really gonna follow through, keep an eye on her? Stone's jaw tightened. I had a daughter once, 20 years ago. Lost her because I was too messed up to take care of her. She ended up in the system, bounced from home to home. Died when she was 14. Overdose. Sarah went still. Stone, every kid I help, every child I keep from falling through the cracks, it's for her. It's because I couldn't save her, but maybe I can save someone else's little girl. He met Sarah's eyes. So yeah, I'm gonna follow through. I'm gonna be there for Lily every step of the way, because nobody was there for my daughter, and I'll be damned if I let that happen again. Sarah nodded slowly. Okay, then I guess we're on the same side. First time for everything. She extended her hand. Stone looked at it for a moment, then shook it. Merry Christmas, Stone. Merry Christmas, Deputy. Sarah walked to her patrol car and drove away. Stone stood in the parking lot, watching the stars appear one by one in the clear winter sky. Somewhere out there, Lily was safe and warm, probably dreaming about something better than her waking life. Somewhere else, Crystal Monroe was lost in a darkness she might never escape. And somewhere in between, Stone was making a promise to a little girl he barely knew. A promise he intended to keep. Crystal Monroe regained consciousness at 11:47 p.m. The first thing she felt was pain, the bone-deep ache of withdrawal already starting to set in. The second thing she felt was wrong. Something was wrong. Something important. Lily. The name crashed through her like a wave. Lily. Where's Lily? I left her at, oh God, how long has it? She scrambled for her phone. Dead. She plugged it in with shaking hands, watching the screen come to life with agonizing slowness. 27 missed calls. 14 voicemails. The first one was from a man with a voice like gravel and granite. Crystal Monroe, this is Stone from the Iron Mountain chapter. I have your daughter. She's safe, but she almost wasn't. You call me back, now. Crystal's hands were shaking so hard she could barely hold the phone. She'd done it again. She'd left her baby, her Lily, her only reason for living, and she'd done it again. The sobs came then, ugly and raw and absolutely useless. She cried until her throat was raw, until her eyes were swollen shut, until she couldn't breathe. Then she picked up the phone and called the number back. It rang once. Yeah. Where's my daughter? Crystal's voice was hoarse, desperate. Where's Lily? Is she okay? Please, please tell me she's okay. A long pause. She's alive. No thanks to you. I didn't mean I was going to come back. Something happened, and I don't care what happened. I don't care what your excuse is. You left a 5-year-old in the snow on Christmas Eve. She almost died. Do you understand that your daughter almost died because you couldn't stay sober for one goddamn day? Crystal had no defense. There was no defense. Where is she now? Somewhere safe. Somewhere you can't hurt her. Please, please let me see her. She needs me. She needed you 3 hours ago, Crystal. Where were you then? The line went dead. Crystal sat in the darkness of the motel room, surrounded by the debris of her addiction, and faced the truth she'd been running from for years. She was killing her daughter. Slowly, painfully, one broken promise at a time, she was killing the only good thing she'd ever created. She had a choice to make. Keep going down this road. Keep choosing the high over her child. Keep telling herself she could quit any time while Lily slipped further and further away. Or fight. Really fight. Not the half measures she'd tried before. Not the empty promises. A real fight. A war against the demons that had stolen her from her daughter. Crystal looked at her phone. 27 missed calls. People who'd been trying to reach her while she was too high to answer. She scrolled through her contacts until she found the number she'd been avoiding for months. The treatment center. The last option. The one she'd always told herself she didn't need. Her finger hovered over the call button. I can't do this. She thought of Lily's face, Lily's laugh, Lily's small hand reaching for hers in the morning. I have to do this. She pressed call. It rang twice. Pine Ridge Treatment Center, this is Angela speaking. How can I help you? Crystal's voice was barely a whisper. I need help. Please. I need help. Across town, in Elena Rodriguez's warm, spare bedroom, Lily woke from a nightmare. She sat up in the darkness, heart-pounding tears already streaming down her face. Mommy. No answer, but not the terrible empty silence she was used to. Footsteps, a door opening, light spilling in from the hallway. Lily, sweetheart, are you okay? Miss Elena appeared in the doorway, concern written across her face. I had a bad dream. Elena crossed the room and sat on the edge of the bed, gathering Lily into her arms. You're safe now, baby. You're safe. I dreamed Mommy never came back. I dreamed I was still in the snow, and nobody stopped, and I was so cold, and shh, that's not going to happen. You're not alone anymore, Lily. I promise. Lily buried her face in Elena's shoulder. The motorcycle man said that too. He said I'm not alone. He was right. There are so many people who care about you, sweetheart. So many people who are going to make sure you're okay. Lily pulled back her tear-stained face, suddenly serious. Miss Elena, yes, baby. Is Mommy a bad person? Elena's heart shattered. No, sweetheart. Your mommy is sick. It's a sickness that makes her do things she doesn't want to do, forget things she doesn't want to forget. But she loves you. I know she does. Then why does she keep leaving? Elena had no answer. There was no answer that would make sense to a 5-year-old. There was barely an answer that made sense to adults. I don't know, baby, but I know this: you deserve better. You deserve someone who shows up. And right now there are a lot of people who want to show up for you. Can you let them? Lily thought about Stone and his gentle voice that didn't match his scary face. About Mama Rosa and her warm arms and her chicken broth. About Raven and Gavin and all the other motorcycle people who'd treated her like she mattered. Okay, she whispered. Okay. Elena kissed her forehead. Try to sleep now. Tomorrow's Christmas, and I have a feeling it's going to be a very special day. Lily settled back against the pillows, letting Elena tuck the blankets around her. Miss Elena. Yes. Thank you for coming to get me. Always, Lily. Always. Elena stayed until Lily's breathing evened out into sleep. Then she crept out of the room, closing the door softly behind her. In the hallway, she leaned against the wall and let the tears come. For Lily. For Crystal. For all the children falling through the cracks while the world looked the other way. And for the Hell's Angels, the supposed monsters, the people society feared, who had done what no one else would do. They had stopped. They had helped. They had shown up. Tomorrow, Elena would figure out the logistics, the paperwork, the legal nightmare of emergency custody and missing mothers, and a system designed to fail the most vulnerable. But tonight, on Christmas Eve, a little girl was safe and warm and sleeping. And sometimes that was enough. Elena's phone rang at 6:47 a.m. on Christmas morning. She grabbed it from the nightstand, heart already pounding, expecting the worst. Hello. Miss Rodriguez. This is Stone, from last night. Elena exhaled. Is everything okay? That depends on how you define okay. A pause. I've got about 30 bikers outside your house right now. We brought presents. Elena sat up so fast she nearly fell out of bed. You what? Word travels fast in our community. When people heard what happened to Lily, they wanted to help. I tried to tell them to wait until a decent hour, but... Another pause. You might want to look out your window. Elena crossed the room and pulled back the curtain. Her jaw dropped. The street was filled with motorcycles. Not 15 like last night. Not 30. She counted quickly, lost track, started again. At least 50. Maybe more. Men and women in leather, standing in the early morning cold, holding wrapped presents and thermoses and what looked like an entire Christmas dinner in aluminum trays. Oh my God. Yeah. Stone's voice held something that might have been embarrassment. It got a little out of hand. A little Lily awake yet. Elena turned to find Lily standing in the doorway, rubbing her eyes, still wearing the pajamas Elena had found in her emergency supplies. "Miss Elena, I heard loud noises." Elena held out her hand. "Come here, sweetheart. There's something you need to see." She led Lily to the window. For a moment, Lily just stared. Her small fingers pressed against the glass, leaving prints that would stay there for weeks. "Are they all here for me? Every single one, baby?" Lily's face crumpled, not with sadness, with something bigger. Something a 5-year-old shouldn't have to feel the overwhelming weight of being seen after a lifetime of invisibility. "But I don't know them." "They know you. That's what matters." Lily looked up at Elena with those 2 old eyes. "Why?" Elena crouched down to her level. "Because sometimes, Lily, the world surprises us. Sometimes people we don't expect turn out to be exactly what we need. Those people out there, they decided you matter. And that's a gift bigger than anything in those boxes." Lily turned back to the window. "Can I go outside? Let's get you dressed first, and maybe some breakfast." "I'm not hungry." Elena smiled. "Trust me, you're going to need your strength." Stone watched Lily emerge from the house, wrapped in her new winter coat, and something cracked open in his chest. She looked so small, so fragile, so completely overwhelmed by the crowd of leather-clad strangers who'd shown up to give her Christmas. He crouched down as she approached, bringing himself to her level the way he'd done the night before. "Hey, sweetheart, sleep okay?" Lily nodded slowly, her eyes scanning the crowd behind him. "That's a lot of motorcycles." "Yeah, we're not exactly subtle." He gestured toward the gathered riders. "Everyone wanted to meet you, but if it's too much, we can—" "No." Lily's voice was firm, surprising. "I want to meet them." Stone grinned. "That's my girl." He stood and turned to face the crowd. 53 riders he'd counted, plus another 20 family members and friends, plus the townspeople who'd heard through the grapevine and shown up with food and gifts and questions. "Listen up." His voice cut through the morning air like thunder. "This is Lily. She's 5 years old. She's had a rough time. And today we're going to show her what family really means. Anyone got a problem with that?" Silence. "Good. Now who's got the hot chocolate vekuonen?" Mama Rosa was the first to reach Lily kneeling in the snow despite her bad knees. "Remember me, little one. You gave me soup last night." "That's right. And today I brought something even better." She produced a small, wrapped box from her coat pocket. "Open it." Lily's fingers trembled as she tore away the paper. Inside was a delicate silver chain with a tiny angel pendant. "It belonged to my daughter," Mama Rosa said quietly. "She would have wanted you to have it." Lily looked up. "Where's your daughter now?" Mama Rosa's eyes glistened. "Heaven, baby. She's been there a long time." "I'm sorry." "Me too." Mama Rosa fastened the chain around Lily's neck. "But you know what I think she sent you to me. I think maybe angels work that way. When one leaves, they send another to fill the space." Lily touched the pendant with wondering fingers. "Am I an angel? The very best kind. The kind that reminds us why we're still here. Raven appeared next, carrying a box almost as big as Lily herself. Okay, kiddo, this one's from me. Fair warning, I'm terrible at wrapping. Lily tore into the paper to find a complete art set. Crayons, markers, paints, brushes, 3 different sizes of paper, and a carrying case with her name already embroidered on it. Miss Elena told me you like to draw, Raven explained. Figured you could use the good stuff. This is mine, all of it. All of it. But I expect some artwork for the clubhouse. Deal! Lily threw her arms around Raven's waist. Deal. Gavin brought a stuffed motorcycle that made engine sounds when you squeezed it. Lily laughed so hard, she almost fell over. A woman named Spider, tall, covered in tattoos, absolutely terrifying to look at, produced a handmade quilt stitched with dozens of different fabric patches. For the bad dreams, Spider said gruffly. Nothing gets through that quilt, I promise. A man called Diesel showed up with a bright pink helmet, child-sized, decorated with glitter and stars. For when you're old enough to ride, he said, we'll teach you, if you want. Really. Really, but not until you're at least 10. Stone's rules. Lily looked at Stone, who shrugged. Safety first, sweetheart. By 9 a.m., the front yard had transformed into something none of the neighbors had ever seen. Hell's Angels playing tag with children. Bikers helping elderly residents carry groceries. An impromptu potluck forming on Elena's front porch with food appearing from every direction. Deputy Sarah Winters pulled up at 9:15, took one look at the scene, and sat in her patrol car for a full minute before getting out. Stone met her at the curb. Deputy, didn't expect to see you today. I could say the same. Sarah surveyed the chaos with something between disbelief and wonder. How many people are here? Lost count around 70. 70 people, for one little girl. She's worth it. Sarah watched Lily across the yard, sitting on Mama Rosa's lap, surrounded by wrapping paper and ribbon, and more presents than she'd probably received in her entire life. Yeah, Sarah said quietly. I think she is. She reached into her car and pulled out a small box wrapped in silver paper. I brought something. For her. Stone raised an eyebrow. You celebrating Christmas with the Hell's Angels now, Deputy? Apparently. She almost smiled. Don't let it go to your head. Lily opened Sarah's gift to find a teddy bear dressed in a tiny police uniform. His name is Officer Buddy, Sarah explained. He's good at keeping watch at night, makes sure nothing scary gets through. Lily studied the bear with serious eyes. Even monsters, especially monsters, he's trained for it. Thank you. Lily hugged the bear tight. He can sleep next to my quilt. Sarah blinked rapidly. That sounds perfect. She turned away quickly, but not before Stone caught the tear sliding down her cheek. He didn't mention it. Some things didn't need words. At 10:30, Elena's phone rang again. She stepped away from the crowd, pressing one hand to her ear to block out the noise. Hello, Miss Rodriguez. This is Angela from Pine Ridge Treatment Center. I'm calling about Crystal Monroe. Elena's blood ran cold. Is she okay? She checked herself in last night. Voluntary admission. She asked me to call you, said you have her daughter. Elena sat down heavily on the porch step. She's in treatment. As of about 200 a.m., she was in bad shape when she arrived, but she was determined. She kept saying she had to get better for her little girl. Elena closed her eyes. Can Lily talk to her? Not yet. We have a 72-hour intake period where patients can't have outside contact, but after that supervised calls might be possible. Miss Monroe specifically requested that Lily know she's trying. She wanted her daughter to know she didn't give up. I'll tell her. There's one more thing. Angela's voice grew hesitant. Crystal asked about the people who found Lily, the motorcycle club. She wanted to know if they were really as bad as everyone says. Elena looked across the yard at Stone, currently helping Lily open a present that was taller than she was. Tell her they're the reason her daughter is alive. Tell her they're the reason any of us are standing here today. I will. Elena hung up and sat for a moment processing. Crystal was in treatment, voluntarily. For the first time in years, she'd chosen her daughter over her addiction. It didn't fix anything. Not yet. But it was a start. Stone found her on the porch 5 minutes later. You okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. Crystal checked into treatment last night. Stone went very still. Come again. Pine Ridge. Voluntary admission. She wants Lily to know she's trying. He sat down next to Elena, his massive frame making the porch step creak. Well, didn't see that coming. Neither did I. They sat in silence, watching the impossible scene before them. Bikers and townspeople, deputies and outlaws, all of them gathered around one 5-year-old girl who'd been invisible 24 hours ago. Should we tell Lily? Not yet. Elena shook her head. Let her have today. Let her have this one perfect day before we start talking about the complicated stuff. Stone nodded slowly. You're pretty good at this. At what? Being a mom, even when it's not your kid. Elena's throat tightened. I never had children of my own. Never seemed like the right time. And then the right time passed, and then a 5-year-old showed up needing exactly what you've got to give. Elena looked at him. That's a very insightful thing for a Hell's Angel to say. We're not all knuckle-dragging Neanderthals. He grinned. Just most of us. At noon, Roy Franklin arrived with the entire Christmas menu from his diner. Lily recognized him immediately. You're the man from the window. Roy's face went pale. He'd heard what happened after he'd kicked her out of his doorway. He'd heard about how close she'd come to dying while he was inside, warm and comfortable, pretending not to notice. Yeah, sweetheart. That's me. He crouched down, meeting her eyes directly. Lily, I need to tell you something. Last night when you were at my place, I should have helped you. I should have brought you inside and called for help and made sure you were safe. But I didn't. I was scared, and I was selfish, and I made a choice I'm going to regret for the rest of my life. Lily studied him with those two old eyes. It's okay. You're here now. But it's not okay. What I did, my mommy says people make mistakes. She says the important part is trying to do better. Lily tilted her head. Are you trying to do better? Roy's eyes filled with tears. Yeah, kid. I'm trying real hard. Then it's okay. She hugged him. This tiny, forgiving, impossibly resilient child hugged the man who'd almost let her die. Roy sobbed. Stone watched from across the yard, his jaw tight. Kids shouldn't have to be this forgiving, Raven said quietly beside him. No, they shouldn't. You think she's really okay, or just pretending? Stone watched Lily pull back from Roy with a gentle smile. I think she's been pretending to be okay for so long that she doesn't know how to stop. And I think that's the saddest thing I've seen in a very long time. By 2:00 p.m., the crowd had grown to nearly 200 people. News had spread through town like wildfire. The story of the abandoned girl. The bikers who saved her. The impossible Christmas gathering that was bringing an entire community together. Local news showed up at 2:15. A reporter with perfect hair and a camera crew looking completely out of place among the leather and chrome. "We'd like to interview the child," she said to Elena. "Get her story. This could be national news." Elena's response was immediate. "Absolutely not. Miss Rodriguez, the public has a right to— The public has no rights to a traumatized 5-year-old. She's not a story. She's not content. She's a child who almost died yesterday, and the last thing she needs is cameras in her face." "But I said no." Elena's voice was steel. "And if you don't leave right now, I have about 50 bikers who will be happy to escort you." The reporter looked around at the gathered Hell's Angels, several of whom had started moving closer with unfriendly expressions. "Fine, but you're making a mistake. This story is going to come out eventually." "Then let it come out on Lily's terms, when she's ready, not when you need ratings." The camera crew retreated. Stone appeared at Elena's elbow. "That was impressive. I teach kindergarten. I've dealt with worse than reporters. Remind me never to get on your bad side." At 3:00 p.m., something shifted. Lily had been playing with some of the other children, laughing and running and acting like a normal 5-year-old for the first time anyone could remember. Then she stopped. She stood very still in the middle of the yard, her eyes fixed on something no one else could see. Stone noticed first. He crossed the yard in 5 strides. "Lily, what's wrong? She's not coming, is she?" The question was so quiet, so broken, that Stone had to lean down to hear it. "Who, sweetheart? Mommy?" Lily's voice cracked. "I keep watching for her car. I keep thinking maybe she'll find me. Maybe she'll come." Her small body started to shake. "But she's not coming. She's never coming." Stone felt his heart shatter into 1,000 pieces. "Lily, your mommy. She always leaves. She always promises, and she always leaves. And everyone says she loves me, but if she loved me, why does she keep going away?" Stone gathered her into his arms, holding her against his chest as she sobbed. "I don't understand," Lily cried. "I tried to be good. I always try to be good. But it's never enough. I'm never enough." "Listen to me." Stone's voice was fierce. "You are enough. You hear me. You have always been enough. What your mommy's going through, it's not about you. It's not because of anything you did or didn't do. It's a sickness, Lily. A sickness that makes people do terrible things to the people they love most. Then why can't she just get better? She's trying, sweetheart. Right now, as we speak, she's trying." Stone pulled back, meeting Lily's tear-stained eyes. "Your mommy checked herself into a place that helps sick people get well. She's fighting, Lily. For the first time in a long time, she's really fighting." Lily's breath caught. She is. And it's going to take a while. And it's going to be hard. And I can't promise she'll succeed. But she's trying. Because of you. Because she wants to be the mom you deserve." Lily stared at him for a long moment. What if she can't do it? Stone didn't lie to her. He respected her too much for that. "Then we figure it out together. But Lily, whatever happens with your mommy, you've got people now. You've got Miss Elena. You've got Deputy Winters. You've got me and Mama Rosa and Raven and Gavin and everyone here. We're not going anywhere, no matter what." "Promise." Stone held out his pinky. "Same promise as last night. I don't make promises I can't keep." Lily hooked her tiny finger around his. "Okay." She laid her head against his chest, and Stone held her as the sun began its slow descent toward the mountains. Around them, 200 people went about the business of Christmas, giving one small family the space they needed. At 5:00 p.m., the impossible happened. A car pulled up to the edge of the gathering. Not a police car, not a news van. A beat-up Toyota that had seen better decades driven by a woman who had too. Crystal Monroe stepped out. She was trembling. Her eyes were red-rimmed, her face pale, her hands shaking with the early stages of withdrawal. But she was there. She was standing. The crowd parted instinctively, creating a path between mother and daughter. Lily saw her across the yard. Her whole body went rigid. "Mommy," Crystal's voice cracked. "Baby. My baby girl." She took one step forward, then another. Then she was running, stumbling, falling to her knees in front of her daughter. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." The words tumbled out in a broken stream. I left you in the cold and I didn't come back and I almost—" She couldn't finish. "I'm sorry, Lily. I'm so sorry." Lily stood frozen, every instinct telling her to run to her mother, every experience warning her not to trust. "You always say sorry." "I know." "You always promise to do better." "I know. Why should I believe you this time?" Crystal looked at her daughter, really looked at her, and saw something she'd been too high, too desperate, too sick to see before. A child who'd learned not to hope. A little girl who'd built walls around her heart to survive. A daughter who loved her mother but couldn't afford to trust her anymore. "You shouldn't," Crystal whispered. "You shouldn't believe me, not yet. I haven't earned that. But Lily, I need you to hear me." She took her daughter's hands in her own. "I'm going away for a while, to a place that helps sick people get well. And when I'm there, I'm going to fight harder than I've ever fought for anything. Not because someone's making me, not because I got arrested. Because last night when I woke up and realized what I'd done, I saw who I've become. And I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to be your mommy. The real mommy, the one who shows up, the one who keeps promises, the one who deserves a daughter as amazing as you." Lily's lower lip trembled. "What if you can't do it? Then I'll try again, and again and again, for as long as it takes. Because you're worth fighting for, Lily. You've always been worth fighting for. I was just too sick to see it." Lily stood motionless for a long moment. Then slowly she released her mother's hands. Crystal's face crumpled. She'd expected this. She deserved this. But Lily wasn't pulling away. She was reaching up, touching the angel pendant around her neck. "Mama Rosa gave me this. She said her daughter sent me to her, like angels do when one leaves." Crystal didn't understand. "Baby, I don't want you to be an angel mommy. I don't want you to leave like Mama Rosa's daughter left. I want you to stay. I want you to get better and stay." Crystal's tears fell freely now. "I want that too, baby, more than anything." Lily studied her mother's face for a long moment, searching for something. Finding it, or not impossible to tell. Then she stepped forward and wrapped her small arms around her mother's neck. "Okay, I'll wait for you. But Mommy, yes, baby, don't break this promise. Please, don't break this one." Crystal held her daughter like she was made of glass and gold and everything precious. "I won't, Lily. I swear to God, I won't." Stone watched from across the yard, his throat tight. Sarah stepped up beside him. "How'd she get out of Pine Ridge?" "Called and talked them into a supervised visit. 4 hours only. Then she goes back. That took guts. That took desperation. There's a difference." Stone watched Crystal rock Lily back and forth, both of them crying, both of them holding on like the world might end. But maybe desperation's enough. Sometimes that's where the real change starts. "You think she'll make it?" Stone was quiet for a long moment. I think she's got a better chance than most. She's got something to fight for, someone to come back to. That counts for a lot. Sarah nodded slowly. What happens now? Now Lily goes into foster care while Crystal finishes treatment. It'll take months, maybe longer, and even then, reunification's not guaranteed. There'll be court dates and evaluations and a whole system designed to make things as complicated as possible. But Stone looked at the gathering around them, at the bikers and townspeople and deputies and strangers all united by one small girl. But she's got an army now, an army of people who decided she matters, and that's something the system didn't count on. Crystal left at 7:00 p.m. The goodbye was brutal. Lily clung to her mother, begging her not to go, and Crystal had to physically peel herself away, tears streaming down her face. 90 days, baby. 90 days and I'll be better. I promise. That's so long. I know. But Miss Elena's going to take care of you, and Stone and his friends are going to visit. And before you know it, I'll be back. Better. Stronger. Ready to be your mommy for real. She pressed a kiss to Lily's forehead. I love you, Lily. I've always loved you, even when I couldn't show it. Even when the sickness made me forget how. You're my whole heart, baby girl. My whole heart. Then she was gone. Lily stood in the driveway watching until the tail lights disappeared. Stone came to stand beside her. You okay, sweetheart? No. Lily's voice was small but steady. But I think maybe I will be. Someday. Stone put a hand on her shoulder. That's the bravest thing anyone's ever said to me. Really? Really? Most people pretend they're okay when they're not. Takes real courage to tell the truth. Lily leaned against his side. Stone. Yeah. Thank you for finding me. Stone's throat tightened. Thank you for letting me. They stood together in the gathering darkness, this impossible pair, a 5-year-old girl and a Hell's Angel, watching the last light fade from the mountains. Around them, the gathering slowly dispersed. Engines rumbled to life. Goodbyes were called across the yard. Promises were made to check in, to visit, to never let Lily feel alone again. By 9:00 p.m., only Stone and Elena remained. She's asleep, Elena said, joining him on the porch. Finally. Poor thing was exhausted. It's been a hell of a day. It's been a hell of a 2 days. Elena sat down beside him. What happens now? Now we wait. Crystal gets clean or doesn't. CPS does their thing. The courts make their decisions. And we do everything in our power to make sure Lily knows she matters. That's it. That's the plan. Stone smiled grimly. That's the plan. It's not much, but it's what we've got. Elena was quiet for a moment. You know what I can't stop thinking about? What? That gas station clerk. Derek. The one who let her stand there for 2 hours. What about him? He could have changed everything. One phone call. One act of basic human decency. And Lily would have been safe hours earlier. Crystal might have gotten help sooner. The whole trajectory might have been different. Stone nodded slowly. That's what haunts me about this world. Not the big evils, the small failures, the people who see someone suffering and decide it's not their problem. So what do we do about it? Stone looked at her. We do the opposite. We see someone suffering, we make it our problem. Every time. No exceptions. No excuses. Elena smiled. That's surprisingly profound for a Hell's Angel. Yeah, well. Stone stood, stretching his massive frame. Don't spread it around. I've got a reputation to protect him. He headed for his motorcycle, then paused. Elena. Yes. You're a good woman. Lily's lucky to have you. She's lucky to have all of us. Stone nodded once, then mounted his bike. The engine roared to life, shattering the Christmas night silence. And then he was gone, chrome and leather disappearing into the darkness, leaving behind a sleeping child who'd woken that morning forgotten and ended it surrounded by an army. Christmas was over. But for Lily Monroe, something new had just begun. 2 weeks after Christmas, Lily woke up screaming. Elena was at her bedside in seconds, gathering the thrashing child into her arms, holding her against the nightmares that wouldn't let go. "Mommy, Mommy, don't leave. Please don't leave. Shh, baby, shh. It's okay. You're safe. You're here with me." Lily's eyes flew open, wild and unseeing. For a terrible moment, she didn't recognize Elena, didn't recognize the room, didn't recognize anything but the cold and the fear and the endless waiting. Then, reality flooded back. "Miss Elena." "I'm here, sweetheart. I'm right here." Lily burst into tears, clinging to Elena like she might disappear. "I dreamed she drove away again. I dreamed I was back at the gas station and nobody came. Not you, not Stone. Nobody." Elena rocked her gently, her own eyes burning. "It was just a dream, baby. Just a dream. But what if it's not? What if she leaves again? What if she can't get better?" Elena pulled back, meeting Lily's tear-stained eyes. "Then we figure it out together. Remember, that's what Stone said. That's what I'm saying. Whatever happens, you're not alone anymore." "Promise. I promise." Lily's grip loosened slightly. Her breathing slowed. "Can I call her Mommy? Can I hear her voice?" Elena glanced at the clock. 3:47 a.m. Way too early for anything. First thing in the morning, okay? We'll call the treatment center and see if she can talk. Okay. Lily settled back against the pillows, but her eyes stayed open. "Miss Elena." "Yes, baby. Do you think she thinks about me when she's there?" Elena's heart cracked. "I think you're all she thinks about, sweetheart. I think you're the reason she's fighting." Lily considered this. "Good. Because I'm fighting too. I'm fighting to believe her this time." Elena stayed until Lily drifted back to sleep, her small hand wrapped around the angel pendant Mama Rosa had given her. Fighting to believe. That was all any of them could do. The call to Pine Ridge came at 8:00 a.m. sharp. Elena dialed, while Lily sat at the kitchen table too nervous to eat breakfast, her legs swinging anxiously beneath her chair. "Pine Ridge Treatment Center. This is Marcus." "Hi, this is Elena Rodriguez. I'm calling on behalf of Lily Monroe. Her mother is Crystal Monroe, a patient there. Is it possible for Lily to speak with her?" A pause. Papers shuffling. "Let me check the schedule. Crystal is in her morning group session right now, but we have a supervised call window at 10:00 a.m. Would that work?" Elena looked at Lily, who was practically vibrating with anticipation. "That would be perfect. I'll let her know. She's been asking about Lily every single day." Elena's throat tightened. How is she doing?" "I really can't discuss patient details, but..." The voice softened. "She's trying. Really trying. That's the best I can tell you." "Thank you. That helps more than you know." She hung up and turned to Lily. 10:00 a.m., sweetheart. 2 hours. Lily's face lit up, then immediately clouded with worry. What if she sounds different? What if she's mad at me? Why would she be mad at you? Because I told Stone about her, about the drinking, about the friends. I told secrets. Elena crossed the room and knelt in front of Lily's chair. "Listen to me. You didn't do anything wrong. You were a brave little girl who told the truth when the truth needed to be told. Your mommy isn't mad. She's grateful. Grateful you're safe. Grateful people are taking care of you. grateful she finally got the help she needed. You really think so? I know so. Lily chewed her lip. Miss Elena, what's it like where Mommy is? Elena chose her words carefully. It's a place where people go when they're sick in a special way, when they need help stopping something that's hurting them. There are doctors there, and counselors, and other people who are trying to get better too. They talk a lot. They work through hard feelings. They learn how to be healthy again. Does it hurt? Sometimes. Getting better can hurt, but it's the kind of hurt that leads to healing, not the kind that makes things worse. Lily nodded slowly. Like when I got my flu shot. It hurt, but then I didn't get sick. Exactly like that. Okay. Lily picked up her spoon and took a bite of cereal. I can wait 2 hours. I've waited longer. Elena's heart broke a little more at the matter-of-fact way Lily said it. 5 years old, and already an expert at waiting. Stone showed up at 9:30 a.m. with coffee for Elena and a stuffed dragon for Lily. Heard you had a rough night, sweetheart. Lily hugged the dragon tight. How'd you know? Miss Elena called me this morning. Told me you might need some backup. Backup. Stone sat down across from her at the kitchen table. You know what backup means in my world. It means someone who's got your back. Someone who shows up when things get hard. Someone who doesn't leave just because the situation gets messy. Lily studied him with those 2 old eyes. Like you did at the gas station. Exactly like that. And you're still here. I'm still here. And I'm gonna keep being here. You might get sick of seeing my ugly face, but tough luck. You're stuck with me. Lily almost smiled. Almost. Your face isn't ugly. It's just scary. On the outside, Stone laughed a deep rumble that seemed to shake the whole kitchen. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me, sweetheart. But on the inside, you're soft. Like this dragon. She held up the stuffed toy. Stone's expression flickered with something vulnerable before he covered it with a grin. Don't go spreading that around. I've got a reputation. I know. Raven told me. She said you cry at movies. Stone shot a mock glare at Elena, who held up her hands innocently. I never said a word. Raven's gonna pay for that, Stone muttered, but he was smiling. At 10:00 a.m. exactly, Elena's phone rang. She answered and handed it to Lily, whose hands were trembling so hard she nearly dropped it. Hello? Lily? Crystal's voice came through thin and tired, but unmistakably her. Baby, is that you? Mommy. Lily burst into tears. Mommy, I miss you so much. I miss you too, sweetheart. Every second of every day. You're the first thing I think about when I wake up and the last thing I think about before I sleep. Are you okay? Does it hurt? A pause. Crystal's voice wavered. Sometimes. But it's a good hurt. Like cleaning out a wound so it can heal. It hurts now, but it's making me better. Miss Elena said the same thing, about flu shots. Crystal laughed wetly. Miss Elena's a smart lady. Are you being good for her? I'm trying. I had a bad dream last night, about you leaving again. Silence on the other end. When Crystal spoke again, her voice was thick with tears. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry I gave you those dreams. I'm so sorry I made you scared to trust me. It's okay, Mommy. You're getting better now. I'm trying, Lily. God, I'm trying so hard, but I need you to know something, okay? Can you listen really carefully? Yes, Mommy. Even if I mess up, even if I fall down and have to start over, I'm never going to stop trying. You hear me? I'm never going to stop fighting to be your mommy. It might take a long time. It might be really hard. But I'm not giving up. Not ever. Lily clutched the phone with both hands. I believe you, Mommy. You do? Yes, because Stone says you're brave. He says checking yourself in was the bravest thing you could do, and brave people don't give up. Crystal was openly crying now. Stone's right, baby. And you're brave too. The bravest little girl I know. I learned it from you. The words hung in the air, simple and devastating. Oh, Lily, my sweet, sweet Lily. Mommy, when can I see you? Soon, baby. The doctors say maybe in a few weeks I can have a visit. Just a short one, with supervision. But I'll get to hold you. Really hold you. I can't wait. Me neither, sweetheart. Me neither. A voice in the background said something Lily couldn't hear. Baby, I have to go. Group session. But Lily, I love you. I love you more than breathing. And I'm going to prove it, one day at a time. I love you too, Mommy. Get better soon. I will, baby. I promise. I promise. The line went dead. Lily sat holding the phone for a long moment, tears streaming down her face. Stone reached over and gently took it from her hands. How'd it go, sweetheart? Lily looked up at him with something new in her eyes, something that looked almost like hope. She sounded different. Like she meant it this time. Maybe she does. You think so? Stone considered the question carefully. I think she wants to mean it, and wanting is the first step. The rest is just putting one foot in front of the other day after day until the wanting becomes doing. It's hard, but it's possible. Lily wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. Will you help me wait until she's better? Every single day, sweetheart. Every single day. 3 weeks later, Deputy Sarah Winters showed up at Elena's door with papers. CPS has made their determination. Lily needs to be placed in official foster care. Elena felt the blood drain from her face. What no? She's doing so well here. She's stable. I know. Sarah held up a hand. That's why I'm here. I've been working with the department. They've agreed to expedite your emergency foster certification, if you're willing. Elena's heart nearly stopped. You're saying I can keep her officially? I'm saying you can become her licensed foster parent. It means inspections, paperwork, training sessions. But yes, you can keep her. Elena sat down heavily, her legs giving out. I thought they'd take her away, put her in the system. That was the original plan, but then I submitted my report, the whole report, about how you took her in on Christmas Eve, about the community support, about how she's thriving in ways she never did before. Sarah's expression softened. The department isn't always a monster, Elena. Sometimes when we see something working, we protect it. And Stone. The club, will they still be able to visit? Sarah hesitated. That's complicated. CPS has concerns about a child in foster care having ongoing contact with a motorcycle club. There are going to be questions, evaluations. Elena's jaw tightened. Those people saved her life. I know. They've shown up every single week since Christmas. They've provided more stability and support than any government program ever could. I know, Elena. I'm on your side here, but I'm telling you what we're up against. The system has boxes, and the Hells Angels don't fit in any of them. Elena stood her fear transforming into determination. Then we make them fit, or we make new boxes, because I'm not telling that little girl that the people who saved her aren't allowed to be part of her life. Sarah studied her for a long moment. You've changed since Christmas. That little girl changed me. She changes everyone who meets her. Yeah? Sarah smiled slightly. She does. The home inspection came 2 days later. Lily hid in her room while 2 social workers walked through Elena's house with clipboards, checking boxes, opening cabinets, asking questions that felt more like accusations. And the child sleeps here. Yes, I've set up the guest room for her. Smoke detectors, in every room. Weapons. I'm a kindergarten teacher. The most dangerous thing in this house is a pair of scissors. One of the social workers, a stern woman named Mrs. Patterson, didn't smile. Miss Rodriguez, I notice you're single. No spouse or partner. That's correct? How do you plan to manage childcare while working full-time? I've already arranged reduced hours with my school, and I have a support network. This support network, Mrs. Patterson consulted her notes. It includes members of a motorcycle club. Elena took a breath. It includes people who found Lily abandoned in the cold and chose to help her. It includes people who organized a community gathering of 200 people on Christmas Day. It includes people who have shown up consistently every week to check on her well-being. The Hells Angels have a documented history of, I don't care about documented history. Elena's voice was firm. I care about actual behavior, and the actual behavior I've witnessed is a group of people who love that little girl and would do anything to protect her. Mrs. Patterson's pen paused over her clipboard. You seem very defensive of these individuals. I'm defensive of anyone who puts children first. Shouldn't we all be silence? The other social worker, a younger man who'd been mostly quiet, cleared his throat. Mrs. Patterson, I think we have everything we need. Mrs. Patterson looked like she wanted to argue, but after a moment she nodded. We'll be in touch with our recommendation. They left. Elena stood in the doorway, watching them drive away, her hands shaking. Miss Elena. She turned. Lily was standing at the top of the stairs, clutching her stuffed dragon. Did I do something wrong? Elena climbed the stairs and gathered Lily into her arms. No, sweetheart. You didn't do anything wrong. Some people just have a hard time understanding things that don't fit in neat little boxes. Like the motorcycle people. Like all of us, baby. All of us are terms. The recommendation came 5 days later. Elena opened the envelope with trembling hands, while Stone and Lily waited in the living room. She read it once, read it again, started crying. Miss Elena, Lily's voice was terrified. What does it say? Elena looked up, tears streaming down her face. It says yes, baby. It says you can stay with me, officially, legally, for as long as you need. Lily launched herself across the room and into Elena's arms. Really, really, truly. Really, truly. Stone cleared his throat. What about us, the club? Elena scanned the rest of the document. Supervised visits permitted at the discretion of the foster parent. That means I get to decide, and I decide yes. Stone's massive shoulders sagged with relief. Thank God. Mama Rosa was about to storm the CPS office herself. She would have too. Elena laughed through her tears. That woman is terrifying. Don't let her hear you say that. She'll take it as a compliment. Lily pulled back from Elena's embrace, her face shining. So I get to stay here with you and Miss Raven and Stone and Mama Rosa and everybody. You get to stay, sweetheart. This is your home now. Lily threw her arms around Elena's neck again. I've never had a real home before. Not really. Well, you have one now. For as long as you want it. Forever. Elena kissed the top of her head. Forever works for me, Juan. That night, Stone found Elena on the porch, staring at the stars. Big day. The biggest. She didn't look at him. I keep waiting for something to go wrong, for someone to show up and say there's been a mistake. That's normal. After everything you've been through, everything Lily's been through, it makes sense to expect the worst. How do you deal with it, the constant uncertainty? Stone settled into the chair beside her. One day at a time. That's the only way to deal with anything. You can't control the future. You can't fix the past. All you can do is show up for today and do your best." That's surprisingly zen for a Hell's Angel. "Yeah, well, I've had a lot of therapy," he grinned. "Court-ordered mostly, but still." Elena laughed despite herself. "Stone, can I ask you something?" "Shoot." "Your daughter, the one you lost, what was her name?" The question hung in the night air. For a long moment, Stone didn't answer. "Grace," he finally said. "Her name was Grace." "That's beautiful." She was beautiful. Smart as hell, too. Could have been anything she wanted. But I was too messed up to see it. Too drunk, too high, too wrapped up in my own demons to be the father she needed. What happened? Stone's jaw tightened. I lost custody when she was 4. Right around Lily's age. CPS took her, and I didn't fight it because I knew deep down that she was better off without me. I told myself I'd get clean, get her back. But I didn't. Not in time. Stone, she bounced around foster homes for 10 years. Some good, some bad, some... He stopped. She started using when she was 12. By 14, she was gone. Elena didn't know what to say. There was nothing to say. I've been sober 15 years now, Stone continued. 15 years of waking up every morning and choosing not to be the person who killed his daughter. And every kid I help, every child I save from falling through the cracks, it's for her. It's because I couldn't save Grace, but maybe I can save someone else's Grace. And Lily. Stone looked at her, his steel-gray eyes glistening. Lily's my second chance. Not to replace Grace, nothing could ever do that. But to prove that Grace's death meant something, that I learned from it, that her father became someone worth being even if it was too late for her. Elena reached over and took his hand. She would be proud of you, Grace, if she could see who you've become. You think so? I know so. They sat in silence, hands clasped, watching the stars wheel overhead. Inside, Lily slept peacefully for the first time in weeks, wrapped in Spider's quilt. Officer Buddy tucked under one arm and the stuffed dragon under the other. A found family pieced together from broken parts. Not perfect, not whole, but something. Something worth fighting for. 6 weeks after Christmas, Crystal had her first supervised visit. Lily couldn't sit still all morning, bouncing between rooms, asking every 5 minutes if it was time yet. "Sweetheart, we still have 2 hours." "But what if we're late?" "We won't be late." "What if she doesn't recognize me?" Elena crouched down to Lily's level. "She will recognize you, baby. You're all she thinks about. Trust me." The visit took place at a neutral location, a family services center with soft couches and gentle lighting. A social worker would be present the entire time. When they arrived, Crystal was already there, sitting ramrod straight on one of the couches, her hands clasped so tightly her knuckles were white. She looked different, healthier. Her eyes were clear. Her skin had color, she'd gained a little weight. But underneath the physical changes, Elena could see the terror. The desperate hope. Lily stopped in the doorway. For a moment, neither mother nor daughter moved. Then Crystal opened her arms. "Hi, baby." Lily ran. She crashed into her mother's embrace with enough force to knock them both backward on the couch, sobbing, "Mommy, mommy, mommy," over and over while Crystal held her and cried and whispered, "I'm here, I'm here, I'm here." Elena stepped back, giving them space, her own eyes streaming. The social worker made notes on her clipboard, but even she seemed moved. For 20 minutes, they just held each other, talking, crying, laughing at nothing and everything. Lily showed her mother the angel pendant and the leather bracelet Stone had given her. Crystal listened to every word like it was the most important thing she'd ever heard. "You're doing so good, Mommy. You look so pretty." "Thank you, baby. I feel better. Really better. Not just pretend better. Stone says the pretend better is the easy part. The real better is what takes work. Crystal laughed wetly. Stone sounds like a smart man. He is. He's scary on the outside, but soft on the inside, like a dragon. A dragon? He gave me a stuffed dragon. I named it Grace. Crystal's breath caught. She looked at Elena, a question in her eyes. Elena nodded slightly. That's a beautiful name, sweetheart, Crystal whispered. A perfect name. The visit ended too soon. Lily clung to her mother, begging for more time, and Crystal had to once again peel herself away, tears streaming down her face. 2 more weeks, baby. Then I can visit again, and then maybe if I keep doing well, we can start planning for when I come home. Really? You're really coming home? That's the plan, sweetheart. If I work hard and do everything right, the court will let us be together again. A real family, the way it should have been all along. Lily threw her arms around her mother one more time. I love you, Mommy. I'm so proud of you. Crystal broke. Those words, I'm proud of you, from her 5-year-old daughter, the child she'd abandoned, the child who'd nearly died because of her addiction, the child who had every right to hate her. I don't deserve you, Lily, but I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to. You already deserve me, Mommy. You just forgot for a while. Crystal held her daughter's face in her hands, memorizing every detail. When did you get so wise? Lily smiled. The motorcycle people taught me, and Miss Elena, and Officer Sarah, and everybody. Quite a village. The best village. And Mommy, when you come home, you can be part of it too. Stone said so. He said family isn't blood, it's who shows up. Crystal looked past her daughter to Elena standing quietly by the door. He's right, and I'm going to keep showing up, Lily. Every day. For the rest of our lives. They said goodbye. Crystal went back to Pine Ridge. Lily went home with Elena, and somewhere between the treatment center and the warm house that had become her haven, Lily fell asleep in the car, clutching her angel pendant, a smile on her face. She was dreaming of coming home. Not to a place, to a family. The one she'd found in the most unexpected way on the coldest night when 200 people who had every reason to keep riding decided to stop. The call came at 2:17 a.m. on a Tuesday, 8 weeks after Christmas. Elena's phone screamed into the darkness. She grabbed it, heart already racing, expecting the worst. Hello? Elena, it's Sarah. We have a problem. Elena sat up, instantly awake. What kind of problem? Crystal left Pine Ridge, against medical advice, 3 hours ago. The words hit Elena like a physical blow. What no? That's not possible. She was doing so well. The last visit was, I know how well she was doing. But she's gone, Elena, walked out the front door and disappeared. Elena's mind raced. Lily was sleeping in the next room, peaceful and safe, finally starting to believe that good things could last. Do you know where she went? We're looking. But Elena, there's more. Sarah's voice dropped. One of her old contacts showed up at the facility yesterday. A dealer named Marcus. The staff turned him away, but Crystal saw him. They think that's what triggered this. Elena felt sick. She's using again. We don't know that for certain, but the pattern suggests she's using again. Elena's voice broke. Oh God, Sarah, how am I supposed to tell Lily? You don't. Not yet. Give us 24 hours to find her. Maybe we can bring her back before her daughter wakes up expecting a phone call that's never going to come, before she finds out her mother chose drugs over her again. Sarah was silent. I'm sorry, Elena. I really am. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't put that little girl back together when she falls apart. I know. Just give us time, please. Elena hung up without saying goodbye. She sat in the darkness of her bedroom phone, clutched in her hand, and felt the weight of what was coming crash down on her shoulders. 8 weeks of progress. 8 weeks of hope. 8 weeks of watching Lily slowly, carefully learn to trust again. All of it about to be destroyed by one phone call. Stone's phone rang at 2:45 a.m. He answered on the first ring. Old habits from the days when late-night calls meant trouble. Yeah? Crystal's gone. Elena's voice was flat. Dead. The voice of someone holding themselves together through sheer will. Stone was already pulling on his boots. Gone how? Left treatment. Walked out. Sarah thinks she's using again. Where are you? Home. Lily's sleeping. I'm on my way. He was out the door before she could argue. Elena met him on the porch, wrapped in a robe, her face pale in the moonlight. You didn't have to come. Yeah, I did. Stone sat down on the porch step, leaving room for her beside him. What do we know? Not much. She left around 11 p.m. No one saw which direction she went. One of her old dealers showed up yesterday, and the staff thinks that triggered something. Marcus. Elena looked at him sharply. You know him. Know of him. He supplies half the addicts in northern Arizona. We've had conversations with him before. What kind of conversations? Stone's jaw tightened. The kind that involved him leaving town for 6 months. Guess he's back. Elena processed this. You think he came for her specifically? Crystal was one of his best customers. Clean crystal is bad for business. He probably heard she was getting better and decided to remind her what she was missing. That's disgusting. That's addiction. The disease doesn't just live in the person using. It lives in everyone who profits from their destruction. Elena shuddered. What do we do? Stone was quiet for a moment. You stay here with Lily. I make some calls. Stone, I'm not going to do anything stupid. He met her eyes. But I've got people who know where Marcus operates. If Crystal's with him, we'll find her. And then what? Then we try to bring her back. Before it's too late. Lily woke at 7:00 a.m. asking for pancakes. Elena made them with shaking hands, trying to keep her voice normal, trying to act like the world wasn't crumbling around them. Can we call Mommy today? She said we could call on Tuesdays. Elena's heart shattered. Actually, sweetheart, I think Mommy might be really busy today, with her program. Lily's face fell slightly, but she nodded. Okay. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow. The lie tasted like ash in Elena's mouth. Stone called at 9:00 a.m. Found her. Elena stepped into the hallway away from Lily's ears. Where? Motel on the south side of town. She's alive, but she's in bad shape. She's been using since she left. Elena closed her eyes. How bad? Bad enough that she needs a hospital, not a motel room. Bad enough that Marcus has already moved on to his next victim. What do we do? I've got Raven with me. We're going to try to talk her into coming with us. Get her to the ER, then back into treatment if she'll go. And if she won't? Silence. Then we've done what we can. We can't force her to get better, Elena. Nobody can. She has to want it. She wanted it. She was doing so well. Recovery isn't a straight line. It's a war. Some battles you win, some you lose. The question is whether she's willing to keep fighting. Elena leaned against the wall, exhausted. Stone, what do I tell Lily? I don't know. His voice was heavy. "But whatever you tell her, make sure it's the truth. She's had enough lies to last a lifetime." Stone found Crystal in room 7 of the Sunset Motel. She was curled on the bed, barely conscious, her face gaunt and gray track marks fresh on her arms. 3 days off the wagon, and she already looked like death. Raven checked her vitals while Stone crouched beside the bed. "Crystal. Crystal, can you hear me?" Her eyes fluttered open, unfocused, lost. "Stone, yeah, it's me. How'd you find me? Doesn't matter. What matters is you're coming with us." Crystal's face crumpled. "I can't. I messed up so bad." "I know, but that doesn't mean you're done." "Lily." The name came out as a sob. "My baby. I promised her. I promised I wouldn't." She couldn't finish. "She's still there. She's still waiting." "But Crystal, you need help. Real help. Will you let us take you to the hospital?" Crystal shook her head weakly. "I can't go back. I can't face them. I failed." Stone took her hand. It was cold, trembling the hand of someone barely holding on. "Let me tell you something about failure, Crystal. I've failed more times than I can count. I failed my daughter. I failed myself. I failed everyone who ever believed in me. But I'm still here, still fighting, still trying to be better than I was yesterday. That's different. You're strong. No, I'm desperate. There's a difference." He squeezed her hand. "You know what made me keep going? The same thing that can make you keep going. A little girl who believes in you, who needs you, who's sitting at home right now wondering why her mommy hasn't called." Crystal's tears fell freely. "I don't deserve her." "Maybe not. But she's not asking for the mother you deserve to be. She's asking for the mother you're willing to become. That's all any of us can offer. The willingness to try." Raven looked up from her assessment. "Stone, we need to move her. Her BP's dropping." Stone turned back to Crystal. "Decision time. You can stay here and finish what you started, or you can fight. For yourself. For Lily. For the life you still have a chance at." He leaned closer. "What's it going to be?" Crystal looked at him through tears and shame and the fog of withdrawal. "I want to fight. I just don't know if I can." "That's enough. That's a start." He scooped her up like she weighed nothing and carried her to the truck. Elena got the call at noon. "She's at the hospital. Dehydrated, malnourished, early signs of overdose, but she's stable. They're keeping her overnight." Elena sank into a chair. "Thank God." She's agreed to go back to treatment. Different facility this time. One with better security, longer program. But Elena, she's asking to see Lily first. "Absolutely not." "I know. That's what I told her. She doesn't get to traumatize that child more than she already has." "I agree, but..." Stone paused. "Maybe there's a middle ground, a phone call, something short, supervised." "Why?" "So Lily can hear her mother apologize again, so she can make promises she's already broken. So Crystal remembers what she's fighting for, and so Lily knows her mother didn't give up entirely." Elena was silent for a long moment. "I'll think about it." That evening, Elena sat down with Lily. "Sweetheart, we need to talk about your mommy." Lily's face went pale. That too-old understanding flickered in her eyes. "She's sick again, isn't she?" Elena took Lily's hands in hers. "Yes, baby. She got sick again. But she's in the hospital now, and she's going to get more help." "I thought she was getting better." "She was. But sometimes when people are fighting a sickness like your mommy's, they have setbacks. They fall down. It doesn't mean they've stopped trying. It just means the sickness is really strong." Lily's lower lip trembled. She promised she wouldn't break this promise. "I know, sweetheart. And she feels terrible about it. She wanted me to tell you that she's sorry, that she loves you, that she's not giving up." "But she left." Lily's voice cracked. "She left again. After she promised. After I believed her." The tears came, then huge, racking sobs that shook Lily's entire body. Elena gathered her close, holding her through the storm. "I know, baby. I know. It hurts so much. Why can't she just stop? Why can't she just be my mommy?" "The sickness makes it hard, sweetheart. It tells her lies. It tells her she needs the bad things more than she needs the good things, more than she needs you. And even though she knows it's not true, sometimes the lies are louder than the truth." Lily pulled back, her face streaked with tears. "Stone said she's brave. Is she still brave? The bravest thing your mommy did wasn't checking into treatment the first time. The bravest thing is getting up after she fell down and deciding to try again. That's real bravery, Lily. That's the hardest kind." "Is she going to try again?" "Yes, baby, she is. Stone helped her get to the hospital, and she's going to a new place that will help her even more. It's going to take longer this time. But she's not quitting." Lily was quiet for a moment, processing. "Miss Elena, can I tell you something?" "Anything, sweetheart." "Part of me is really sad, but part of me—" She hesitated. "Part of me isn't surprised. Is that bad?" Elena's heart broke fresh. "No, baby. That's not bad. That's just what happens when someone you love has hurt you before. You start expecting the hurt even when you're hoping for better." "Will I ever stop expecting it?" Elena pulled her close again. "I hope so, sweetheart. I really hope so." 3 days later, Crystal called from the new treatment facility. Elena answered with Lily beside her, the phone on speaker Stone sitting across the room as backup. "Lily." Crystal's voice was weak but clear. "Baby, are you there?" "I'm here, Mommy." Silence. Heavy. Loaded. "I'm so sorry, Lily. I'm so sorry I let you down." Lily didn't respond. "I know sorry isn't enough. I know I've said it too many times, but I need you to hear me, okay? Can you listen?" "Okay." Crystal took a shaky breath. "I got scared. I saw someone from my old life, and I got scared, and instead of asking for help, I ran. I ran back to the thing that was killing me because it felt easier than fighting." "That's stupid." The bluntness of it made Crystal laugh, a wet, painful sound. "You're right. It was stupid. The stupidest thing I've ever done. And I've done a lot of stupid things." "Stone found you." "Yes, he did. He and Raven came and got me and took me to the hospital. They saved my life, Lily." Again. Lily glanced at Stone, who nodded slightly. "He saves a lot of people." "I know. I'm lucky he was willing to save me." Another silence. "Mommy, are you going to do it again? Run away?" "I don't know." Crystal's honesty was brutal. "I want to say no. I want to promise you I'll never make that mistake again. But I've learned that my promises don't mean much right now. So instead of promising, I'm just going to do. One day at a time. And maybe if I string enough good days together, you'll start to believe me again." Lily considered this. Stone says that's how he did it. One day at a time. Stone's a smart man. He says you're brave. Crystal was quiet for a moment. "I don't feel brave." "Maybe that's what being brave is. Doing it even when you don't feel like it." Stone smiled from across the room. "Lily," Crystal said, "I'm going to be here for a while. Longer than before. They say 6 months, maybe more. That's a really long time. I know. I need you to do something for me while I'm gone. Can you do that? What? I need you to let Miss Elena and Stone and everyone else take care of you. Really take care of you. I need you to let them love you without holding back, without waiting for me to come rescue you. Because right now I can't rescue anyone. I can barely rescue myself. Lily's eyes filled with tears. But I want you to take care of me. I know, baby. And someday I will. But right now I need to learn how to take care of myself first. Otherwise I'll just keep hurting you. And that's the last thing I want. I love you, Mommy. I love you too, Lily. More than you'll ever know. That's why I'm staying here. That's why I'm fighting. Because you deserve a mommy who shows up. And I'm going to become that mommy. I swear to God, I'm going to become her. After the call ended, Lily sat very still for a long time. Stone waited. Elena waited. Neither pushed. Finally, Lily spoke. She sounded different. Different how? Elena asked. Like she meant it. Really meant it. Not pretend meant it. What made it feel different? Lily thought about it. She didn't promise. She said she was just going to do. That felt more real than promising. Stone nodded slowly. Smart kid. And she told me to let you take care of me. She's never said that before. She always said she'd be back soon. She always made it sound like I shouldn't get too comfortable anywhere else. Elena reached for Lily's hand. How does that make you feel? Sad. But also... Lily searched for the word. Free. Like I don't have to keep one foot out the door anymore. You never had to, sweetheart. I know. But I didn't believe it. I kept thinking she'd come back and everything would be normal. But this is normal now. This is my life. And maybe that's okay. Stone cleared his throat. Lily, can I tell you something? Yes. Your mommy just did the hardest thing any addict can do. She told her kid the truth. The ugly, painful truth. That takes guts. That takes the kind of courage most people never find. I've watched people in recovery for 15 years, and the ones who make it are the ones who stop pretending. Your mommy stopped pretending today. So, she's going to make it? Stone's expression was careful. I can't promise that. Nobody can. But for the first time, I think she really has a chance. The weeks that followed were hard. Lily had good days and bad days. Days when she laughed and played and seemed like any normal 5-year-old. Days when she cried herself to sleep clutching Officer Buddy and Grace the Dragon like lifelines. Elena learned to ride the waves, to celebrate the good moments without expecting them to last, to weather the storms without trying to fix what couldn't be fixed. Stone came by every week without fail. Sometimes he brought presents. Sometimes he just sat with Lily and watched cartoons. Sometimes he took her for rides on the back of his motorcycle short trips, always with a helmet, always with Elena's permission. Raven started teaching Lily how to draw. Real techniques, not just coloring books. Lily turned out to have genuine talent producing artwork that made the adults exchange amazed glances. Mama Rosa appointed herself Lily's honorary grandmother, showing up with homemade cookies and endless stories about the old days, about children she'd raised and lost and found again. Deputy Sarah became a regular visitor too, stopping by on her off days, sometimes in uniform, sometimes not. She and Elena developed an unlikely friendship, bonded by their shared commitment to one small girl. It wasn't a traditional family. It wasn't what anyone would have expected. But it worked. 3 months after Crystal's relapse, Elena received a letter. Not an email. Not a phone call. An actual handwritten letter delivered by mail addressed to both Elena and Lily. She opened it with trembling hands. Dear Elena and Lily, I've been in treatment for 90 days now, 3 months, the longest I've ever made it. I wanted to write instead of call because some things are easier to say on paper. Elena, I don't know how to thank you. You took my daughter when she had nowhere else to go. You gave her a home, a family, a chance at a normal life. You did what I should have done and couldn't. There are no words for that kind of gift. Lily, my beautiful girl, I'm doing the work. Every day I'm doing the work. It's hard, baby, harder than anything I've ever done. There are days when I want to give up, when the sickness tells me I'll never be good enough, when I think you'd be better off forgetting I exist. But then I remember your voice on the phone. I remember you saying Stone told you I was brave. And I think if my daughter believes I'm brave, maybe I can be. I'm not asking you to wait for me. I'm not asking you to hold your life on pause until I get out. I want you to live, Lily. Really live. Let Miss Elena be your mom. Let Stone be your protector. Let all those amazing people be your family. And someday when I'm ready, when I've proven I can be trusted, maybe you'll let me be part of that family too. I love you both. More than I can say, Crystal. Elena finished reading and looked at Lily, who was crying silently. She's really trying, Miss Elena. Yes, sweetheart, she really is. Do you think she'll make it? Elena thought about everything she'd learned in the past 3 months. About addiction. About recovery. About the fragile, fierce hope that kept people fighting even when the odds were against them. I think she has the best chance she's ever had. And I think that's all any of us can ask for. Lily nodded slowly. Can we write her back? Of course, baby. What do you want to say? Lily thought for a moment. I want to tell her that I'm okay, that I'm happy here, that I'm going to keep living like she said. But I'm also going to keep hoping. Because that's what she taught me, to keep hoping even when it's hard. Elena's eyes filled with tears. That's beautiful, sweetheart. And Miss Elena, I want to tell her one more thing. What's that? Lily looked up with those 2 old eyes that sometimes seemed to hold the wisdom of someone 10 times her age. I want to tell her that I forgive her, not because she deserves it, but because holding on to the hurt is too heavy, and I want my hands free for other things. Elena pulled her close, overwhelmed by the depth of this child, this survivor, this miracle who'd been left crying in the snow, and somehow emerged with her heart still intact. When did you get so wise? Lily smiled through her tears. I learned it from my family. All of them. That night, Stone found Elena on the porch again. Good news. The best. She handed him Crystal's letter. He read it slowly, carefully, his expression unreadable. When he finished, he folded it gently and handed it back. She's going to make it. You think so? I know so. He sat down beside her. That letter is the letter of someone who's finally telling the truth. To herself, to her kid, to everyone. That's when recovery starts for real. When you stop hiding behind excuses and face what you've done. Elena leaned against his shoulder. Thank you, Stone. For everything. I didn't do anything. You found Lily. You found Crystal. You showed up week after week even when there was nothing in it for you. You gave us hope when we had none. Stone was quiet for a moment. You know what I was doing the night I found Lily? What? Riding, just riding, trying to outrun my own demons, trying to forget that it was Christmas Eve, and I was alone and everyone I'd ever loved was gone. And then I saw a little girl in a purple dress freezing to death outside a gas station, and something in me just clicked. Like everything I'd been through, all the pain and loss and recovery, it was all leading to that moment, to her. Elena took his hand. Maybe it was. Maybe, he smiled. Or maybe I'm just a sucker for kids in trouble. Either way, I'm glad you stopped. Me too, Elena. Me too. Inside, Lily slept peacefully wrapped in Spider's quilt, surrounded by stuffed animals and the collected love of 200 people who'd decided she mattered. In her dreams, she was riding a motorcycle through the snowstone at the handlebars, her mother waving from somewhere up ahead, a destination that was finally getting closer. She wasn't there yet, but she was on her way. And for the first time in her life, she truly believed she was going to arrive. 1 year to the day after Stone found Lily shivering outside that gas station, the phone rang at Elena's house. She's done. Stone's voice carried something Elena had rarely heard from him. Joy. Pure, unguarded joy. Crystal, 14 months of treatment, clean the whole time. The facility's releasing her tomorrow. Elena sat down, her legs suddenly weak. Tomorrow. She wanted to surprise Lily, but I figured you should know first, to prepare. Prepare for what, her mother coming home, or her mother breaking her heart again. Stone was quiet for a moment. I've talked to her counselors. This isn't the same woman who walked out of Pine Ridge last year. She's done the work, Elena. Really done it. She's got a job lined up, an apartment, to sponsor a whole plan. Plans don't mean anything. You know that. I know. But Elena, I've seen a lot of people try to get sober. Most of them fail. The ones who make it, they have a look in their eyes, a steadiness. Crystal has that now. Elena closed her eyes. What do I tell Lily? The truth. That her mommy fought like hell to get better, and that tomorrow she's going to prove it. Lily was in the backyard when Elena found her drawing in the sketchbook Raven had given her, creating something that looked like a family portrait with motorcycles. Sweetheart, can we talk? Lily looked up, immediately wary. Is something wrong? No, baby, something's right. Elena sat down on the grass beside her. I just got a call from Stone about your mommy. Lily went very still. Is she okay? She's more than okay. She finished her program, all 14 months of it. She's coming home tomorrow. Lily's pencil slipped from her fingers. Home, like here? Not exactly. She's got her own apartment now, a job, everything she needs to start fresh. Elena took Lily's hands. But she wants to see you. Tomorrow. If you want. Lily's face cycled through emotions too fast to track. Hope, fear, anger, longing, all of it tangled together in the heart of a 6-year-old who'd learned not to trust. What if she leaves again? Then we deal with it. Together. Like we've dealt with everything else. What if she doesn't love me anymore? Elena's heart shattered. Oh, sweetheart. She never stopped loving you. Not for 1 second. That's why she stayed in treatment so long. That's why she fought through the hard days. Because she loves you. Lily's lower lip trembled. I'm scared, Miss Elena. I know, baby. So am I. You are. Of course. I love you, Lily. I want you to have everything good in this world. And watching you hope for something that might hurt you, that's terrifying. But you know what's worse? What? Not letting you hope at all. Keeping you so safe that you never get the chance to be happy. Lily thought about this. So I should try. I think you should try. And I think whatever happens, you're going to be okay. Because you've got me. You've got Stone. You've got 200 people who decided you matter. Your mommy is important, but she's not all you have anymore. Lily nodded slowly. Okay, I'll see her. But Miss Elena, yes, sweetheart. Can Stone come too in case I need backup? Elena smiled through tears. I'll call him right now. 1. The reunion was set for Christmas Eve, exactly 1 year after the night that changed everything. Stone suggested the gas station parking lot. Not to be cruel, but to close the circle, to show how far they'd all come. Elena thought he was crazy. Then she understood. Crystal needed to face what she'd done, and Lily needed to see that monsters could be defeated. They arrived at 4:00 p.m., the same time Lily had been abandoned the year before. The parking lot was different now. Where there had been emptiness, there was a building. A small structure with warm lights and a sign that read, Lily's Haven, a community warming center. Lily's jaw dropped. What is that? Stone crouched beside her. That's something the club built, with help from the community. A place where nobody has to stand in the cold waiting for someone who might not come. A place where kids like you can get help when they need it. They named it after me. You inspired it, sweetheart. Your story made people want to do better, to be the ones who stop instead of the ones who walk past. Lily stared at the building, overwhelmed. I inspired something. You inspired everything. A car pulled into the lot, old but clean, driven by a woman who stepped out with shaking hands and tears already streaming down her face. Crystal Monroe looked like a different person. Healthy, strong, her eyes clear for the first time in years. But underneath the transformation was the same mother who'd left her daughter in the snow, and both of them knew it. She stopped 10 feet away. Hi, baby. Lily didn't move. Hi, Mommy. The silence stretched between them, filled with everything that couldn't be said. All the broken promises, all the lonely nights, all the fear and hope and desperate love that had survived despite everything. Crystal took a step forward. I know you don't trust me. I know I haven't earned the right to be your mommy again. But Lily, I need you to know something. She dropped to her knees in the parking lot, bringing herself to Lily's level. A year ago, I left you here, in the cold, alone. I did the worst thing a mother can do, and I can never take that back, never make it right, never undo the hurt I caused. Lily's chin trembled. But I've spent every single day since then trying to become someone worthy of you, someone who shows up, someone who keeps promises, someone who puts you first always, no matter what. How do I know you won't leave again? Crystal's tears fell freely. You don't. I can't give you guarantees, Lily. I can only give you actions, day after day, month after month, year after year, until my actions prove what my words can't. Lily stood motionless for a long moment. Then she looked at Stone. Is she telling the truth? Stone met her eyes. I think she's trying to, sweetheart. Whether she can keep it up, that's something only time will tell. But right now in this moment, yeah, I think she means every word. Lily turned back to her mother. I want to believe you. I know, baby. But it's hard. I know. Part of me wants to run to you, and part of me wants to run away. Crystal nodded, fresh tears spilling. Which part is winning? Lily considered the question. Really considered it. Then she took a step forward. And another. And another. Until she was standing right in front of her mother, close enough to touch. The part that loves you, Lily whispered. It always wins, even when I wish it wouldn't. She fell into her mother's arms. Crystal held her like she'd never let go, sobbing and whispering and making promises she'd spend the rest of her life trying to keep. Stone turned away, wiping his eyes roughly. Elena stood beside him, crying without shame. "She made it," Elena whispered. "Yeah, she did." What happens now? Stone watched mother and daughter wrapped in each other, healing wounds that had been open for far too long. Now comes the hard part. Living it, day after day, not messing it up when it gets tough. You think she can do it. I think she's got the best chance she's ever had. And I think that's all any of us can ask for. The crowd started arriving at 5:00 p.m. Word had spread the way word always spread in small towns. Crystal Monroe was back. The little girl from the gas station was reuniting with her mother. And everyone who'd been part of the story wanted to be there for the ending. First came the Hells Angels. Stone's crew 50 strong, their motorcycles lining the street in a wall of chrome and leather. They'd come to support one of their own because that's what family did. Then came the townspeople, Roy Franklin from the diner carrying enough food to feed an army. Deputy Sarah Winters off duty, but in uniform anyway, because some moments deserved the official recognition. Mrs. Patterson from CPS, the stern woman who'd questioned Elena's fitness as a foster parent, now bringing presents and apologetic smiles. Lily's classmates arrived with their parents, neighbors who'd donated toys at Christmas, strangers who'd heard the story and driven from miles away just to be part of something beautiful. By 6:00 p.m., the parking lot was full. 200 people, maybe more, gathered around Lily's haven to celebrate a miracle none of them had expected to see. Stone stepped forward, raising his hand for silence. A year ago, this parking lot was empty, except for one little girl who thought nobody cared. Tonight, it's full of people who proved her wrong, who showed up when it mattered, who decided that family isn't about blood, but about choice. He looked at Lily, standing between Elena and Crystal, holding both their hands. Lily taught us something important this year. She taught us that the people we're told to fear might be the ones who save us, that broken things can be beautiful, that hope isn't stupid even when it hurts. He turned to face the crowd. This warming center exists because of her, because one little girl reminded an entire town what it means to be human, to see someone suffering and choose to help instead of looking away. His voice caught. I spent most of my life running from who I was, hiding behind leather and chrome and the reputation of a club that scared people. But then I found a kid in the snow, and everything changed. She changed me. She changed all of us. Mama Rosa stepped forward, tears streaming down her weathered face. My daughter died 20 years ago. I thought my heart would never heal. But then this little angel came into our lives, and I realized love doesn't run out. It multiplies. The more you give, the more you have. She took Lily's hand. You're not my blood, sweetheart, but you're my family, now and forever. One by one, others spoke. Raven talked about teaching Lily to draw, about watching her talent bloom. Gavin talked about the scholarship fund they'd started in Lily's name, helping kids in recovery situations get the support they needed. Deputy Sarah talked about learning to see past uniforms and patches to judge people by their actions instead of their appearances. Elena talked about becoming a mother at 52, about the gift of a child she never expected to have. And finally, Crystal spoke. I don't deserve to be standing here. I know that. I abandoned my daughter on the coldest night of the year. I chose drugs over her life. I broke every promise I ever made. Her voice shook, but she didn't stop. But I'm standing here anyway, because my daughter taught me something about forgiveness. She told me once that holding on to hurt was too heavy, that she wanted her hands free for other things. She looked at Lily. So I'm asking all of you for what my daughter already gave me. A chance. Not to forget what I did. Not to pretend it didn't happen. But to see who I'm trying to become. To judge me by my actions from today forward, not just by my failures from the past. She wiped her eyes. I can't promise I'll never struggle. Addiction is a disease that doesn't go away. But I can promise I'll never stop fighting. For my sobriety, for my daughter, for the family she built while I was learning how to be human again. The crowd was silent. Then Stone started clapping. One person joined him. Then another. Then another. Within seconds, the parking lot erupted in applause. 200 people cheering for a woman who'd been at rock bottom a year ago, celebrating her climb back into the light. Crystal broke down completely. Lily ran to her, throwing her arms around her mother's waist. "I'm proud of you, Mommy." "I'm proud of you too, baby. So proud." The celebration lasted until midnight. There was food and music and laughter. Kids running around the parking lot while adults caught up on a year's worth of stories. Bikers teaching children to sit on motorcycles while parents took pictures. Deputies and outlaws sharing coffee and finding common ground. At some point, Lily tugged on Stone's hand. "Can I show you something?" He followed her to the edge of the crowd, where the noise faded slightly. "What's up, sweetheart?" Lily reached into her coat and pulled out a worn leather bracelet, the one Stone had given her a year ago with the iron mountain charm. "I've worn this every single day, even when I was sad. Even when I didn't believe things would get better. It reminded me that I have people who care about me." Stone's throat tightened. "That's what it's for." "I know. But Stone, I want to ask you something. And you have to be honest. Always." Lily looked up at him with those two old eyes that had seen more than any child should. "Am I still going to be part of your family now that Mommy's back?" Stone dropped to his knees, bringing himself to her level. "Lily, listen to me. You became part of our family the night I found you in the snow. That didn't change when your mom went to treatment. It didn't change when she came back. It will never change. Not ever. But you have your own people. The club. You're part of the club, sweetheart. Maybe not officially, but in every way that matters. Ask anyone here." He gestured at the gathered Hell's Angels. "They'd ride through fire for you. They already have." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "I love you, Stone. You're like the dad I never had." Stone felt something crack open in his chest, something that had been sealed shut for 20 years. "I love you too, Lily. And I know I'm not your dad. But I'd be honored to be whatever you need me to be. Uncle, friend, backup, whatever." Lily threw her arms around his neck. "Everything. You're everything." Stone held her tight, this impossible child who'd saved him as much as he'd saved her. "Everything works," he whispered. "Everything works just fine." At midnight, the crowd began to disperse. Elena, Crystal, and Lily stood together in the parking lot, watching the last of the motorcycles disappear into the darkness. "What now?" Crystal asked quietly. Elena took a breath. "Now we figure out how to be a family. All of us. I don't expect you to forgive me for what I put her through, what I put you through. I don't forgive you." Elena's voice was honest, but not cruel. "Not yet. Maybe someday. But that doesn't mean we can't work together. Lily needs both of us. And I think we might need each other too." Crystal nodded slowly. "I'd like that, if you're willing. I'm willing to try. That's all any of us can do." Lily looked between them. "Does this mean I get two moms now?" The adults exchanged glances. "Something like that," Elena said. "We're still figuring out the details. But yes, sweetheart, You've got two moms who love you very much. And Stone, and Stone. And Mama Rosa and Raven and Gavin and Deputy Sarah and everyone, Elena laughed. Yes, baby, all of them. You've got the biggest, weirdest, most wonderful family anyone's ever seen. Lily smiled, the first completely unguarded smile Elena had seen since Christmas. Good, because I have a lot of love, and I need somewhere to put it, Crystal sobbed. Elena wiped her eyes, and somewhere in the distance a motorcycle engine rumbled a final goodbye from the man who'd started it all. 1 month later, the court approved Crystal's reunification with Lily. It was conditional. There would be regular check-ins, drug tests, supervised transitions. But the judge had seen the community support the network of people committed to Lily's well-being, and decided that keeping a family together was worth the risk. Lily moved into Crystal's apartment on a Sunday afternoon. Stone helped carry boxes. Elena supervised the unpacking. Mama Rosa brought enough food to last a month. Raven hung Lily's artwork on every available wall. When it was done, they all stood in the small living room looking around at what they'd built together. It's not much, Crystal said apologetically, but it's clean, and it's ours. Lily ran her hand along the back of the couch. It's perfect, Mommy. You think so? I know so, because you're here. And you're staying. Crystal pulled her daughter close. I'm staying, baby. Forever and always. Stone cleared his throat. We should get going. Let you two settle in. Lily grabbed his hand before he could move. Wait, I have something for you. She ran to her backpack and pulled out a piece of paper folded carefully. I drew this. For all of you. She unfolded it to reveal a drawing. Crayon and colored pencil, clearly done by a child, but beautiful in its simplicity. It showed a parking lot covered in snow. A little girl in a purple dress. And surrounding her, an army of motorcycles and people all reaching toward her with open arms. At the top, in careful 6-year-old handwriting, were the words, My family. Stone's vision blurred. Elena covered her mouth. Crystal sobbed openly. It's all of you, Lily explained. Stone and Elena, and Mommy, and Mama Rosa, and Raven, and Gavin, and Deputy Sarah, and everyone who came to Christmas. Because that's when I stopped being alone. That's when I found my family. She pointed to the little girl in the center of the drawing. And that's me, in the middle, where I belong. Stone took the drawing with trembling hands. This is going up in the clubhouse, right where everyone can see it. Really, really. And every time someone asks about it, I'm going to tell them the story. About a little girl who taught a bunch of rough-looking bikers what family really means. Lily beamed. I love you, Stone. I love you too, sweetheart. More than you'll ever know. Christmas Eve came again. A full year since the first miracle. A full year of healing and growing and learning to trust. Lily stood at the window of her mother's apartment, watching the snow fall softly on the streets below. She was 7 now, taller, stronger still, carrying the scars of what she'd survived, but no longer defined by them. Ready to go? Crystal asked from behind her. Lily turned and smiled. Ready. They drove to Lily's Haven, where the annual celebration was already in full swing. 200 people gathered once again to honor the night that had brought them all together. Stone met them at the door. There's my favorite artist. Lily hugged him tight. There's my favorite biker. Inside the warming center was transformed. Christmas lights everywhere, food on every table. Children running and laughing while adults talked and smiled and marveled at how much had changed in a year. Elena appeared with hot chocolate. Mama Rosa followed with cookies. Deputy Sarah arrived in full uniform, having just finished her shift, not wanting to miss a moment. And in the middle of it all, Lily stood surrounded by the people who'd saved her. Her mother finally present and accounted for. Her foster mom still very much a part of her life. Her extended family of bikers and teachers and deputies and strangers who'd become something more. Stone called for silence. "A year ago we gathered in a parking lot for a miracle we didn't know was possible. Tonight we gather again to celebrate everything that's happened since." He looked at Crystal. A mother who fought her way back from the edge. He looked at Elena. A teacher who became a parent. He looked at Sarah. A deputy who learned to see past stereotypes. He looked at Mama Rosa, at Raven, at Gavin, at all the others who'd become part of this impossible story, and a community that decided one little girl was worth fighting for. Finally, he looked at Lily. "Sweetheart, you got anything to say?" Lily stepped forward, suddenly shy, despite all she'd been through. "Just thank you for finding me, for not giving up on me, for showing me that families can be built, not just born." She took her mother's hand, then Elena's, then Stone's. "I used to think I was invisible, that nobody saw me, that I didn't matter. But you all proved me wrong, every single one of you. And now," she smiled, her eyes glistening, "now I know that I was never invisible. I was just waiting for the right people to see me." The room was silent. Then Stone raised his coffee cup. "To Lily, the bravest kid I've ever known." "To Lily," the crowd echoed. "To family," Crystal added, her voice strong and clear. "The one we're born into and the one we build." "To family," everyone repeated. Lily looked around at the faces she loved, at the community she'd inspired, at the miracle she'd somehow become, and she knew with absolute certainty that she was exactly where she was supposed to be. Not because she'd earned it, not because she deserved it, but because sometimes on the coldest nights when everything seems lost, a rumble comes over the hill, and the people everyone told you to fear turn out to be the ones who save you. Sometimes salvation arrives on two wheels wearing leather-carrying loyalty that runs deeper than blood. And sometimes a little girl left crying in the snow becomes the heart of something beautiful, something lasting, something that proves beyond any doubt that hope is never wasted and love is never lost. Lily Monroe was 7 years old, surrounded by her family on the first anniversary of the night that changed everything. She wasn't invisible anymore. She would never be invisible again.